a volumes business. The more you make volumes, the more the business becomes profitable. If you don't, it goes down. So it's a huge challenge. I'm still facing that challenge. 2 weeks ago, I was sharing with you, Guti, there's another big customer, white customer, that was still left. Wahamba, naye bengazuhleli kanjani because I knew ukuthi uzohamba ekugcineni. And we can't be begging white people all the time, guys. We can do it on our own. Abahambe, sizozenzela, you know, and we're gonna do it better than them.
Ngiyanibona nishaya izandla. Ngiyanibona. But the very same people that bring down black businesses is us. So we can clap our hands all we want, but until, as she's saying, we become intentional about supporting each other, we're not going to do or go anywhere for that matter. Because I'm sure in the space that you're in, there's black people, our own black people, who are like, why her, not me? Who will be like, it's always the case. Once a black person starts doing better, say, who does she think she is? Yabona go black business ben. We make one mistake, we yabona go black business ben. But when it's white businesses, they can mess up 50 times, you'll still go back. So, I'm happy that we're all clapping, we're all kumbaya, but I want us to be true to ourselves. Are we supporting black businesses? Wholeheartedly. Would you take your car today and drive to BP Moore Road just because you want to support Usisi Utandi here? Or all the time? All right.
Okay.
So,
sorry, Justine.
yeah,
Can
I just wanted you to carry on on that note.
Yeah. I just want to share ukuthi izinto ezincane that we need to do to support each other. I wrote on my WhatsApp status izolo. I went for a hair wash and ngiyenzela phela ukuthi ngibe muhle namhlanje. Ngimuhle yini, guys?
Too much. Too much. Xa nimshayela izandla nobuhle bakhe. Awu. Yabona ngoba ususuka wayiqala lento sengizokusukumisa sukuma Thandi bakubone. Ashaya turn around yanimbone. Awu Nkosi yami.
Okay, so I went for a hair wash yesterday at a random salon, not a salon in Israel. And those is basa salon, kunama sink out 3. Ba, ukubona ukuthi phela uyawasha inwele bese ufaka shampoo massage ikhanda. While they do that, osink bayarana amanzi, you know. Bavula sink since I customer liqala ukwasha and there are 3 washes abawenza ekhanda. Lize liyophela custom, yabona. That's good 30 minutes of running water. And then ngiyamcela kusisi long washa ngithi sisi ngicela ukuthi siwavala amanzi in between, yabo. Taka light yabo nje yabo ngithakahlangani, yabo. Kwaze kwaba ukuthi ngibe intentional ukuthi sisi ngiyacela ukuthi asiwavala amanzi uma ngabe singakawasebenzisi. But anyway ke kodwa ke just sekugcineni yabo ngihambe sebengibhinqe, you know how it is in my salon. Kodwa, I took a moment to educate them. I don't even know the owner of the salon, yabo. But I know I-water bill ukuthi ihetha kanjani i-business. Ingawa leya salon mangabe ngingasho lutho mina. Nawe mangabe ungasho lutho ma uyakhona, you know, because sometimes my employees they just do things easy for them, benga understand the impact on the business. So let's not turn a blind eye. Mofika mo road, ungayitholi service right. Take that moment. I took a moment yesterday to educate the employees about running water and how it impacts the business. I said I'm going to do that. So if that's how we support each other, Jacinta, to make sure that our business the money must circulate amongst ourselves. There is no way manje ukuthi ngingaya salon yomunye umuntu ongesumuntu omnyama for ini ekhona amasalon abantu abamnyama. So that's how we become intentional. Ngimranela usisi isalon yakhe izolo, yabona, and ngithe ngizombheka vele ona khona ngimchazela ukuthi akabheke lezi zinto nalezi zinto lezi ezingamenza ukuthi ama running cost akhe abe high. So that's how we do it as black people. We become our brothers and sisters keeper. Because akufuneki kuphumelela abantu abathize. I did say mangiqala talk yami ukuthi there are enough resources for all of us. So sonke kufuneka siphumelele, sonke kufuneka sifukulane.
Love that. Ngicela simshayele izandla. Okay, so I'm gonna sing of Willie Floor. I just want to ask the DJ to get the microphone ready for me so that it can be anyone that can just run around with the microphone. But I've just got one last question for Sis Tandy. When talking about youth, and I know you're an education activist, which makes it very important to mbuzo wami ukuthi ngu-director kuwena. Education activists, mawubuka, a lot of young people now are shying away from doing degrees in higher learning because kuzothiwa une degree kodwa uhleli nathi ekhaya. You know, a lot of people with degrees are becoming a joke in our society. What are your feelings and thoughts towards education and running a business? Is it still important to ngifunde ukuze ngirun business, or do I just wake up in the morning and like, hey, I have an idea, I can make it work, give a millionaire, I don't need this piece of paper?
Very good question, Jacinta, and thank you for raising that. Mina ngiyakholelwa kakhulu guys ukuthi kuyafuneka sizi equipe as abantu abasha as we grow into our businesses. I'm going to tell you an example. Ayikho into ecobayo njengokuthi uphathe umuntu ongayazi lento ayiphethe. Ayikho nje into ecoba njengaleyo. Imagine ngifika lapha eMoore Road, ngifika khona staff sabantu abawu 56, and it was all men at the time. It's only now where I'm introducing women. It was kwagcwele nje amadoda awu 56 staff sonke. Imagine ke sengifika lapha ya angazi ukuthi kufanele ngibaphathe kanjani. I don't know because angizange ngi-equipe mina. I'm not skilled to do this. Then it goes back to nabo abantu besifazane bavele banikwe izinto abakwazi nokuyiphatha. Uyabona? So it's important ukuthi education is formal and informal. So it's not like funeka uye e-UKZN uyokwenza i-degree ukuze ufunde. There are informal channels that you can use, but it is important that you skill yourself as you run the business. Mina jade ngisubmit manje i-PhD yami, thesis yami. I might be graduating as a doctor at the end of the year.
Dokotela. Satha dokotela.
And I'm not doing this manje ukuthi mhlambe ngifuna ukuyofuna umsebenzi kwamlungu, yabo. I'm doing it for me because I want to equip myself. I want to stay relevant. I need to know what is happening. And I'm doing it for other women that come behind me because ngifuna ukuthi kube khona umuntu ozogooglisha ukuthi my thesis is about unlocking full potential of women in leadership. So ngifuna ukuthi musu run business lakho sekunzima, Google my thesis and see ukuthi how other women did it, because we have to skill ourselves in order to lead properly.
Thank you so much. And also just to add to what you're saying, my personal thoughts are that maybe we need to move away from an education system that says you're getting a degree to get a job. Because I think that's the saddest perception. Ukuthi ma ngiphuma la, I'm getting this paper because I need to get a job. We need thinkers, innovators. People are going to say, okay, I've got this degree now. Let me come up with something. Let me change the status quo. Let me find something that I can discover or develop or so forth. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about abantu sinabo namhlanje. Do I have any hands in the air? There's one question, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Laphe move. Oh, 6. Okay, we'll do 6. Ngala, ukhona ngala. Okay, so siqala la 1. Awusamodeli wemalo. We are modela generally in life. No, you should model. Suits you. Cani mshayeli izandla microphone wethu. Umodeleke. All right. Is it not on? Okay, you can use mine.
Sorry. Thank you. 1, 2. Sanbonani in the morning, well, sexamini ngoku. In fact, my one is not even a question as such, but it is just to echo what you're saying about intentionality in, doing business with ourselves. obviously we're not all going to be business people. Well, at least not today, or at least not tomorrow. But we do have people, esibaziyo abasebenza in places, esizaziyo ukuthi bahola nge-commission, angisho. For an example, xa uyothenga imoto, you know ukuthi bahola nge-commission, right? So we just need to be intentional. In fact, maybe from a personal story, in the past 2 years, I've bought 2 cars. Okay, well, I bought one and then I sold it and then I bought another one. So when I bought the first car in 2020, I was intentional when I called into CMA Shepalito to say, "Ngicela umuntu okwazi ukukhuluma isiZulu." And obviously by then you're just saying, I prefer a black person to take my business, right? That guy did not do a great job as a salesperson, I'll give him that. But at least I know ukuthi commission yam wayifumana. And then secondly, 3 weeks ago, I also bought another car, as I said. I was very intentional to the lady at reception ukuthi ngicela ukuthetha na someone okwazi ukukhuluma isiZulu. By virtue of that, you are not talking to someone okwazi ukukhuluma isiZulu all India. Even if uyakwazi, great, but that's not what I'm going for. And so being intentional, when you're going to Bradlow's, you're taking furniture, you need to be talking to someone okhuluma isiZulu, because by virtue of that, you are talking to a black person, and by virtue of that, you are making sure ukuthi lo muntu lo uyakhe. And we also do know ukuthi in these sectors, aba bantu abaholi nakangako. So when you're getting them business, in fact, other counterparts, which is abanye abantu ke amaNdiya, they rarely speak to us because they want to circulate imali zabo within the same communities. So we just need to be intentional as well to make sure ukuthi we lift each other up. Ndiyayiqonda ke kodwa ukuthi sekhona abantu abathi sanda ukusilawula ngemali zethu, but at the end of the day we have a responsibility to each other. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Hi, Thandi. Hi, Jacinta. Okay, Thandi, agona umbuzo lo. Njengoba usho na ukuthi kube ne-incident ebekhona kade uye salon, right? Nami ngi-client lakho ku-BP, ku-Mo Road. I just wanted to say, noma ngi-complimente ukuthi you've trained i-staff sakho so well. Mhlambe ngino 4 years manje ngithela khona nje bonke bayangazi noma ngiya lapha eDairy la kuthengwa khona into zokudla kunobaba nje ogudi kabi lapha yana ohlale nje vibrant ekhuluma uyababona ukuthi abana stress ngaze ngathi ke ngelinye ilanga for sure ubakhokhela kahle kodwa nje it's more about the training. Sengisho ukuthi nami ke ngicela ukumaximize leli thuba. I mean ETD practitioner trained for wholesale and retail industries or Edgar's or Truex ngingabala ngithini. So nangelinye ilanga if udinga umuntu ozokutrainela staff sakho, let's say you've got new staff on customer care or any other training owadingayo, I'm here. Ujacinta une number yami.
Thank you so much.
Lovely.
But I must say, Ushilex is one person who I've always seen actively supporting black businesses. And this I know because you're there for every event, every single person who's selling, you're there supporting them. So let's give it up to you, Shilex. Nam ngangamaz, but when's our show nyamaz? Yabo nawe Thandi, usuyamaz. Uthandi ungathandi, she will make sure. That's the type of person she is.
And that's how you take opportunity, guys. Yazi ukuthi mangabe ngibhala ku Facebook ukuthi ngimenywe kule event le khona usisi uzanele biyela ngiyacela manje mawufuna i-makeup yabona she made this wang inbox ku Facebook wazi wangifonela ku inbox wathi sisi ngicela ukwenza i-makeup for free just so that you can advertise me uyabona. Obviously I paid her kodwa ke that's how you take an opportunity. You see, uyazi sangifaka ma makeup kodwa wathi nje ngicela ukwenza kusasa ngizoza wherever you say. So that's how you, if you're hungry for anything, guys, you get out of your comfort zone.
Okay, ngiyabonga program director ngibingelele nakusisi uThandi uNgqongqo. I have a question kwi industry okuyona. How did you do it? Because badinga ama unencumbered fund, let me say ngifuna ukungena kwi sector I don't know, no BP, no Michelle, udinga unencumbered fund, I think it's 1 million. That's the first question I have. Ukuthi, how did you do it? Was own capital, or you will be able to raise ama investors? There are two questions we industry kuyona. Okay. Sorry, buzo wesibili ngiyaxolisa. How do you propose njengomuntu wesifazane ukungena kwi distribution ye fuel, because there's lots of opportunities also distribute fuel. Let me say you go I will stop there for now, but do you propose ukungena kwi distribution industry?
Okay. Okay, okokuqala, yes, kule industry le, own ama garage, bayidinga what you're saying, unencumbered fund. And it's one of the things abasazvalela ngayo guys, abelungu kule industry le. Because honestly, if you have a sound business plan, you have your financials, you can get funding. But it's a requirement right in front when you're still doing your first application. They want to see how much you have in the bank. For example, if a garage is 10 million, they want 20% of that. Jacinta knows this. They want 20% of that. So, umuntu omnyama ohleli ono 2 million in the bank, or isiqukuqungu nje ongenzi lutho, unencumbered, ubani. So that's how they are still closing the sector for more black people to enter. It's one of the barriers get to entry. So that is why I said, mangabe ngiqala ukukhuluma ukuthi I dreamt of this way back in about 2015. Ngisasebenza. I was fully employed and running a side hustle on the side. Ngishilo guys ngathi kuyasetshenzwa, there is nothing that comes easy. Ngangalali ngihamba ngiyokwenza u9 to 5 wami emsebenzini, ngibuye ntambama ngangenza ama safety files, ama safety files for ama construction companies. I was doing safety files. Ngine target ukuthi ngifuna ukwenza ama safety files awu20 per year, because ngiyazi safety file eyodwa wo 3,000 to 5,000 depending on the job, and yonke leyo mali goes where? Savings and investments. I was living on 60% of my salary. 40% was going on savings, and ontanga bami mina guys ba on ama triple stories ko balito, but angihlali lapho because I knew what I wanted to do. Yabona? So any lesson ofuna siyazi ukuthi singasheshi sifuna izinto eziphambili just because you can afford. No, yabo ibank malithi I can give you umuzi ka 6 million. When athenga umuzi ka 3 million. So that's uzothatha lenye imali obuzokhokhela lo munye 3 million and save it. Yabona? So usingasheshi sixine izinto ezinhle nezinto ezobukhazikhazi eziningi ube wazi ukuthi igoal yakho ikuphi. So when I uyazi igoal yakho ikuphi angithi I knew ukuthi I want this garage way back in 2015, so I had to save up every cent because phela thina sinama inheritance asina loss. I started from zero and I grew from there. So nje ezinye izinto uyibeke eceleni ufocus on your goal.
And also, what she's not adding is they do a thorough credit check. Like, Maune squared tunje sango 1942. There's no way you'll get a garage. Magu Guti, other things that they do. She probably aced their accounting maths test that they put you through. So you have to be really good with numbers. What else do? They also want to make sure you have a degree.
Yes.
If you don't have a degree, it's another problem for you. So, yeah.
The panel interview.
Yes, the panel interview.
Baya
is-
grade lapha,
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
guys, there's another lesson I think that I need to share
Yeah.
with the audience ukuthi if you do a business plan, kunomkhuba ukuthi ngathi business plan enye document enkulu ewubukhazikhazi ofuna uyo outsource ukhokhela u5,000. Guys, business plan yakho ukuthi mawufuna ukudayisa amagwinya, ngizothenga uflower la namafutha, ngixove kanje, ngidayisele umphakathi, obani abazothenga, this is how I'm going to make money and that's how I'm going to bring money back to the business. So it's simply as that. So business plan yakho zenzele. Mina business plan yami somewhere road ngazenzela ngizange outsource. So what I presented to BP, what I presented to the funders, it's my own work. Because masuhlela lapha nepanel abantu abawu7 bagrilla on all the documents that you submitted. And if you don't know them, then it becomes an issue.
khona umbuzo futhi bese nawo that was ish manje sezoshawa isikhathi because I have to move on. I have to take the 2 questions that I said. There's one that side over there, nangi phakamisile isandla. And then there was another one, angazi noma lapha yini. I'm not sure.
Sanibona njani?
Siyaphila sis.
Ngiyaphila nami umbhalo wakalinda lo. I'm coming from Richards Bay, but njengamanje ngila eMlazi ngize ngokuzophanda. Ngifunda eJacobs. There's one of uthisha wami lana. Where are you, Sne? Sne, this is Usne. Ufundisa eJacobs. Senza ugesi. Right now into engizele lana ukuzophanda because ngisuke eBay. We have the same event at Bay, but yona is a king cetshwayo. If ufuna unetalente, uyadansa okanye uyacula noma yini okwazi ukuyenza namhlanje leyo event ise Bay eking cetshwayo kunabotira khona wonke umchuli ongamcabanga uzofika nje wena uperforme if udirecthandile uzokusayina up. So mina into engizoyenza lana ngizophanda kuphela angazi umuntu and angikweneti umuntu but I just wanna hustle. That's all. I'm 24 by the way. By qualification, I'm doing a trade test, a math skill, but I have other qualification. Right now, Miss Ngiyaxolisa ukuba in the spirit, started, I'm shaking, I'm nervous.
Okay.
I've been hungry for the opportunity, so I can't wait to present what I have. If UTCC, with the customer service, I've experienced it like I'm always like this, even uSisuyazi. I don't even have 1 month la eMlazi, but I've been to Umlazi before. I'm familiar with Umlazi, even with the gangs. I'm not afraid of you guys. I'm joking. So, ngifike la Pick and Pay. Ngakhuluma nje ngathi sawubona sisu njani ukhesha waba rude ngathi mina sisi ngiyaxolisa ngimusha lana angaze ngangena Pick and Pay but into engayithandi awungazi maybe ngithandana nemanager eqashile. I will tell them ukuthi you see baby usne akasebenzi kahle ngathi mina lento yokuthi seyane asingeyani singabantu abamnyama. There is another person ukhona la ngimbone lapha ngithi mina yazi guys lento leni izosiza uthi yena sizosizwa ila maphepha abasinika wena. You don't know, mina I have a company, it's already registered, it's Alwande's Catering, it's just that I don't have funding. So if I'm also selling herbal life, if you wanna get sexy and chubby, contact me. I also sell Avon. Even Galelo, I have it. It's just that I don't have an opportunity. Before I was working at Ackermans as a sales agent, I was opening accounts. I can even pitch you now for an insurance, you will agree. Even if I can tell you, Uguti, yes, that's what, it's an experience. Yes, she knows what I do, I buy and sell. Come Mr. Prices, they sell it in Tongaboma 15 rand. I buy it and I sell it with 30 rand. That is me. Yes. Yes.
Okay, sisi, igama lakho azangulishe maybe ngoba udayisa into eziningi mhlawumbe umuntu mayefuna ukukufonela athenge one of your products ngisho ubhuti ke it's for products.
Yes.
It's not for anything else, just for
Yeah.
lento edayisayo.
Yeah.
Cela ushiye inamba yakho for anyone that might be interested in purchasing from you.
Okay, mina ngikhona vele la eMlazi ngihlala kadi bayangazi abanye abangazi. If ungifuna you'll get me even on Facebook. Ambalilinda inamba yami it's 073. If ufuna ukuyithatha only for business not pleasure. If you only for business not pleasure ningangisheli I'm married. Yeah, and even if you wanna get married to me you won't afford me. Yeah, that's what I wanna do. Yeah, but in number yami it's 073 017 1264. I wanna open an agent, my own agent.
Siyabonga. Thank you so much. Siyabonga kakhulu Mbali, and we hope ukuthi business or ama business azoqhubeka kahle. Just going to take the last question now because of time. Usisi Thandi has to be excused, and we've got other panelists waiting to join us. So we'll just take this last question.
Alright, sanibona, ngicela ukunibingelela nje nonke. Umbuzo wami engizowubuza awukho mude nje, umbuzo nje umfishane. Umayelana njengoba siki youth empowerment and the business, ukuthi as we know that ukuthi abantu abamnyama we sometimes siba nama challenges noma ama obstructions esiwatholayo from ama peers ethu when you're doing good. So manje umbuzo engubhekise kakhulu kuwe mangqongo ukuthi wawa overcome kanjani lawo ma obstacles kuma peer akho bekubona uprogressa along ku journey yakho. Ukuthi how did you overcome that? Nokuthi mhlambe umuphi umyalezo o directayo kulowo muntu okusimilar situation nale owadlula kuyona ngiyama lapho ngiyabonga.
Okay, thanks. Beautiful question. Ama challenges ahlale khona kwi journey. Ngishabe kuthiwa kwi journey yomshado, ngishabe kuthiwa kwi journey ye relationship, ngishabe kuthiwa kwi journey ye business. Any journey ama challenges ahlale khona. But into ebalekile njengosoma business ukuthi ungaluzi focus on goal yakho. Uyabona? Njengamanje 2 years ago ngathola igarage, bengazi ngifuna own igarage angithi. So manje mase sengil own ake garage, mase sengiya relaxa, yabo sengithi I've arrived, yabo sengiya own. Then you lose the focus. Usisi kade khuluma ngendaba ye customer care. I don't have to be at the garage every day because linama systems akhona. But I am there, I'm working, yabo. Angisuboss ohlala endlini alala avuke ngo3 every day because I need to make sure ukuthi ama systems are in place all the time. Is service that we offer to the customers is right. The products that we sell, ama products are right. Ama challenges oba khona ke ekuthenini mhlambe you know ukuthi most of the time phela mesothela upetrol abaningi bese asijabuli ne litha la petrol linyukile lapha phezulu. So kuzoba khona ama customers that are not happy in general. Yabo. Asibi khona ama customer are happy all the time. So it's the challenges that we have all the time kodwa you know ukuthi okubalekile ukuthi customer ngisho belifike lingekho happy kangakanani egarage mangabe liphuma aliphume lithokozile emoyeni ukuze likwazi ukubuya. So uma ngabe use businessini akukho ukuthi ayike ngivuke on the left side of the bed today, awuvuki on the left side, uhlala uvuka on the right side of the bed because you always need to offer good service even on difficult customers. You know, you need to offer good service to them. Obviously ke mina ngisumuntu onaka kakhulu kama peers abokuthi wenzani usisi angikunaki kakhulu lokho yabona. So lawo ma challenge akusiwami yabo. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm running my own race and I'm supporting other people where I can.
Love that. Cela simshayele izandla. Wow. Isikhathi sangishaya ngempela. Ngicela ubamba umbuzo wakho, mhlawumbe umbuzo eceleni I'm sorry. Ngicela simshayele izandla usisi Thandi. She is an award-winning businesswoman all the way representing in South Africa and Dubai. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, like I said, Mr. Thandi has to leave. But I'd just like to ask if you can kindly rearrange the seating so that I can welcome my other panelists now to join me. I've got 3 panelists that are joining me now, people who are in serious business as well, who know their story very much. And I'm going to ask them to join in just on the stage so we can carry on this conversation. If you'd like to drink water, quickly grab some water and sizokwazi with that program. And please do us a favor, ne? We are actually live right now on the page Lagamaspala eThekwini Municipality, the Durban Business Fair. If you can kindly log on to your Facebook and share the live stream so that those who are not able to join us namhlanje bazokwazi nabo ukusithola. The name of the page on our Facebook eThekwini Municipality, and then just share, please. Sikhona ke kwi Durban Business Fair, the South Regional one, njengoba sila kwaMnyandu namhlanje. So I'm going to ask my panelists to join me now. Ukuze siqhubeke ne-conversation yethu. It's fine, carry on. Thank you. It's okay. I'd like to welcome now from Induduzo Bespoke Funerals, a funeral company that's doing really, really well. And they're going to be telling us more about business, especially in these times, how it's doing. I'd like to welcome the CEO, Mr. Pumlani Wakanjilo. Ngicela simshayele izandla. Nimncishe izandla ngobe umuntu wesilisa noma niyasaba ukuthi ushadile kuzothiwa senishayela umuntu izandla kangaka. Thank you so much, Pumlani. And I'd now like to welcome, as I mentioned earlier on, we've got all the way from Hollywood Bets, the head of operations, not in Durban, not in KZN, not in South Africa, but in Africa. I'd like to welcome Ms. Sandisiwe Bengu. All right, see about two, our other panelist, Uthandeka Zulu, is not here. So, yeah, we must just make the circle smaller. Is there a microphone at that? No. Ngicela just one more microphone, please. No. You must have your own one. Okay, Sanbonani, hello. How are you? I'm just going to allow both our panelists to as introduce and exactly what it is that they do. Pumlani, can we start with you?
All right, thanks, Mangobes. Ngiyanibingelela, igama lami uPhumlani Wakanjilo. I was born in Pietermaritzburg. I am 33 years old. Currently, myself and my wife, we own a company called Induduzo Bespoke Funerals, trading as the IBF. We are the first black-owned funeral parlor who has been able to franchise. We are also the first black-owned funeral parlor, funeral insurance company, not only to franchise, but to franchise. So we've sold a franchise in Gauteng, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and now we've also been able to tackle Isadek region. We are in Botswana.
Aibo, shani zandla.
All right, thank you, Jacinta. Ngisalindile ukuthi konke uzoyisho. Igama lami uSandisiwe Bengu, born and bred in Durban. As mentioned, I'm at Hollywood Bets in operations. My background is actually in media, in the same space as this lady. Funny enough, my first love was radio. But I got the bug of being behind the scenes, being in the corporate environment. So I've worked in telecoms companies, I've worked in media as mentioned, and now I'm in the sports betting industry, running the biggest bookmaker in South Africa. We're in the UK and Ireland, and the sponsors of the Hollywood Bets Durban July.
Thank you so much. So today our conversation is going to be centered around rebuilding and recovering, especially innovation. As I did mention earlier on, which we need more innovators, looking at the township economy. Now both brands, as you said, Induduzo, I saw that you guys opened a branch in Johannesburg just recently, and also with Hollywood Bets. You're always out there in the community building houses or giving a business, a container, this and that. And in the space of rebuilding, what does that mean to both of you? This time.
Look, it's very critical. Businesses don't exist in a vacuum. Businesses require abantu ukuthi bal support. As a business, we stakeholder in Pagatin. This is why today we business fair, Pagati, we have counselors, we have also my business, we have my businesses that actually are operating and so forth, because wonke umuntu la ubambisene within the community of Umlazi. And the conversations that are going to happen here about how to, grow economy Umlazi. So that's how we view business at Hollywood Bets. We have close to 6,000 employees across the country, just in South Africa alone. Those people live in communities. Now, mabe affectegile in their community, kona futhi nathi la operator kona, how do we then expect them to come to work and give the best service? How do we expect as a business to grow in a community that's economically impacted? It's just to say that our view is that we are all connected. What impacts a community impacts us. It may not hit us directly in the your bottom line immediately, but it's something I think that is an ethos of ours. Ukuthi we cannot turn a blind eye to izinto ezenzakalayo emphakathini. But I think it's also largely driven by some of the people that we work with. We work with incredible people who really have a desire to make an impact. And I think it also goes back to employing because, we talk about business a lot, and I think it came up with Usisi was here before, talking about her employees and how she trains them. But even in terms of recruiting, even in terms of getting the people who are going to be your right-hand men and women, what do they believe in? How do they fit into the culture and the ethos of your business and what you're trying to achieve? Because you cannot be there and be hands-on all the time. But if you believe in something, it needs to exist and it needs to be tangible at all levels of your business. And I think that's a big part of what we've been able to achieve.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. So rebuilding, I think the topic lona ihlala kakhulu la sikhona eThekwini. I think iTheku once affectwe bayibiza triple threat, i-COVID, i-looting, plus food manje kwaba ney'khukhula. So I think when it comes to rebuilding as IBF, we are very intentional in assisting our companies that are affected by the floods, number one, companies that have been affected by COVID-19, and also companies that are affected by looting. For example, sinomfana ekade supplier indwangu for ama coffins zethu. Kukhona indwangu esiyibeka phezulu kwecoffin. Business lakhe was thriving ephakama. He's a 28-year-old. During looting, bangathatha nje kuphela stock sakhe bashisa business lakhe lonke. Young boy, 20 years old, bright future, eqala business lakhe. Now that boy at that stage, unfortunately, got no insurance. So the whole business was burnt down. Kumele aqale back from scratch. Imagine, kati sakwazi ukusupporta umndeni wakhe. I think ikhona ingane yakhe encane kade ifundise primary school. Now all of that is gone. So when we speak about rebuilding, I'm very happy as the Durban Business Fair now, Mangobese, you brought up this topic. It's very important to rebuilding, see personalize. We need to assist each other, and I'm glad the Hollywood Betsila. But the Maleningi, so rebuilding is very important, and I'm sure ngoba sihleli lana kukhona umuntu affected COVID-19 or affected floods noma or affected looting ngoba silana. So as we're going to be talking more about the topic lana rebuilding lana, I want you guys to know that as the IPF, and I'm sure as the Hollywood Best, we are there and we want to assist abantu in rebuilding their businesses and their lives.
I'm going to ask you a question in your line of business. Because when you talk about rebuilding and innovation, funerals. Like, I think, obviously during COVID, it was a time where, and floods, unfortunately, a lot of people would think, as unfortunate as it is, the business would thrive at that time. But how do you innovate in the business of funerals? Like, do you come up with new coffins, new, like...
Yeah, no, I think so. I understand we're in the fourth industrial revolution now. And now we had to pivot or we had to innovate in terms of that's the biggest one. We had to include the technology when it came to funerals. Abantu bakwazi live stream, sikwazi ukwenza digital programs, sikwazi invite abantu digitally as well. I think that's the main area whereby as the funeral industry we had to pivot. But also when it came to our COVID-19 restrictions, personal protective equipment, which some of we didn't know of before. So I think we've been able to pivot LAPO and also include innovation.
So, Siwe, you're in the business of giving back to the community and empowering black businesses especially. Now, there's a toss between the two, because if you're investing in a business, you expect to get returns. But if you're donating, then there aren't really any expectations. It's for you to deliver what we asked you to deliver to the community. Now, do you ever find a situation where you are stuck in the middle, where you're not getting any returns from black businesses and it feels more like you're donating to black businesses instead of growing them?
I think absolutely not. Simply because, you know, I spoke about ethos before. We donate to black businesses because we believe in them. We understand that business is, you know, it's a very volatile thing. Just because you start a business, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be successful. We touched on it earlier about even being more open to giving second chances to certain people in business if they make a mistake. So for us, you know, when we invest in these businesses as well, you know, we work a lot on grants, you know, so there's no expectation of payment, you know, there's no repayment terms. It is really us, you know, in the sense of even like CSI, giving to that business to say, go off, we believe in what you're doing, we believe in the value that you can create. And all that we ask is that you pay it forward, is that when you are able to sustain yourself, you then look at how do I then create and sustain other businesses. So really for us, you know, it's just that we have to categorize it differently. You know, we're giving you a grant because you have a business idea, or we are giving to, you know, a preschool, a school, a school. But ultimately for us, it all boils down to us being very involved in ensuring Uguti, South Africa, you know, the future of South Africa, which lies in young people, whether it's in young people in business, whether it's a young girl or young boy, or seskoleni, or ding ama resources to focus on school. Because those businesses also need to employ accountants, marketers. And I know that today we're here talking about business, but it is also important that I mention that, you know, innovation and entrepreneurship are not limited to your own business. We need to be entrepreneurs within business. You know, within businesses, we need to be innovative. So, you know, we focus on that because we want to ensure that we cover all facets. We're not just looking at people in business, but we're looking at the future. We're looking at creating the next chartered accountants, the next marketers, the next group of people who are going to run and sustain our businesses.
Right, love that. So, maskuluma about rebuilding, renovating, and innovation. A lot of people in business think ukuthi bazovuka ekuseni namhlanje sebene business eli successful, which is often never the case. So most people in business baqala very humbly as employees. But more and more often, people are downplaying the importance of being employed and learning the behind the scenes before stepping into business or trying to innovate. In your knowledge and experience from all the dealings with businesses that you have, what would be your advice when telling young people especially, Uguti, how do you grow in business? Is it important to start by being employed, or just wake up in the morning and start dreaming and make your dream a reality?
No, thanks. You know, I think one of the biggest impediments evimba young people to enter into a space of entrepreneurs or a space of being businesswoman or businessman. It's not easy. You know, business don't think you can just wake up one day, see an idea, then you've got a business. It doesn't work that way. I've got a live example. Owen, please stand up. This is Owen Sitol. He's single, by the way, so...
Shine, Owen, shine.
Yeah, shine. Yeah.
Sukuma Owen bagbon.
Yeah, I can sit down, it's fine. Yeah. So this is Owen. Owen had a brilliant business idea. I'm going to share it because it's quite legalize him. Wabona in need ga home affairs. You know the long queues. Uguto mama no gogo ba mile na banta batala. What's no yena uzo tagishitu la eceleni and rent out the chairs for 5 rand. Sonke sihle siboni queue ka home affairs. Sonke sihle siboni stingo. But akekho umuntu okayicabanga lento lena. This young boy here, 23-year-old, saw that need. What no? There is a need lapha. What no? I'm not just going to do that. What isitulu sokwazi ukuhamba ne-Wi-Fi ngizokudayisela i-Wi-Fi futhi nayo ngo-5 rand for an hour. Mayiqeda lapho futhi athi no, ngizokuqashela ama-nets ngizokuqashisela i-umbrella ngo-5 rand futhi as well. So that's an idea, right? But manje unenkinga yani yokuqala because ifunding akanayo. He tried to reach out to me, wangangithola by email. Wazama ukufona e-office wangangithola. Wabona i-advert uthi ngizobe ngikhuluma kwi-Gagas FM, I'm sorry, Vuma FM Shine, but wabona ukuthi ngizobe ngikhuluma no DJ Vuma at 4 o'clock in the morning. Wasethi alarm this young boy. ukuthi avuke ngo-4 ekseni angizwe ngikhuluma ukuze connect nami. From that meeting ngakwazi ukuthi from that engagement eradweni ngakwazi ukuhlangana naye. Monday morning use-office lami uphethe business plan le-business proposal. Ngiyambuza ngithi ngoba onayo imali uyihlanisa uthi no ngiyibhale mina le-business plan. Le logo loyena ngicela ubhuti wami omncane kube uyena ongidesignelayo, so I didn't spend any money. Ngithatha i-public transport ukuthi ngizokubona lana ukuthi ngihlangane na. Now our company IBF has partnered with this company to make this dream a reality. So do you understand? Is you don't really need imali uqala, number one. You just need an idea. You need resilience. You need tenacity. You don't need to give up. You need to knock. She sold her, but I'm interested. You understand? Umbali, now that's being an entrepreneur. You know, there's a small DJ Sbu, very famous. I'm being kakone otaisela makana kala ngengum taisela na namhlanje niyawazi. Awatayise mkakweni. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's tenacity, that resilience. A business in you don't just need money to start, but you need a heart for business.
You know, I love that story, but I think something else ebalulekile that I also have observed, Uguti. I think even the terminology, Uguti une business or starting a business or being an entrepreneur, you know, kukhona abantu who are already in the business of doing business. Kukhona intombazane ehleli lana eyenza ikhanda, she is the best in her street. Kuyaziwa ukuthi noma ubani mefuna ukwenza ikhanda la uya kusibani, but she doesn't view herself as a business person. I think one of the biggest challenges that we have, and you know, we need more of these types of platforms, is to demystify nalento yokuba business, yokuba ukuthi ngusomabhizinisi, ngihamba ngemoto enje, I look this way, because I think there's so many talented people. Mina ugogo wami wayevuka ekuseni njalo ahambe travel far, wayethunga ahamba yodayisa. That is how my parents, you know, my mom, my aunts, bakhula kanjalo bekhuliswa ugogo thungayo. That is the first example that I have of an entrepreneur. Kukhona abantu abakhuliswa omama abadayisayo every day, but we don't view that as business. I think for me that's the first challenge, is how do we understand business as being in trade? It's having either an idea or it's having a trade and exchanging that for cash. I think if we can start also by demystifying those things and making people understand that you don't have to also be the next Zuckerberg, you don't have to be, you know, Jeff Bezos, the next Facebook. Practical things, like that example, something simple, you know. When we start to have those conversations and we start to actually open people's eyes to that, then I think we can start to see more people starting out with whatever they have, wherever they are.
Thank you so much. Just a by the way, it's actually very sad that when talking about become a thing with Home Affairs, that's just a by the way. We're going to say, wow. Anyways, that takes me to my next question, Ms. Kuluma, about innovation. The world is moving at an incredibly fast pace. Like South Africa, during lockdown, 5G was mentioned. So if we tower, zap us and disappear, and all of these things. But in China, they're sitting at 7G already. South Africa is behind, I don't know how. Before IR, we're not even close to how close we should be in terms of the pace that the world is moving. When talking about innovation and business, are there any hopes of young people possibly saying, isn't South Africa? Let me look at international trends and see how do I bring them to South Africa by looking at a niche market that doesn't exist, or create my own innovation. Ama apps, young people in China, 9-year-olds are creating apps that are flying off the shelves. But we don't have that in terms of innovation. And personally, it worries me. I don't know. Business people?
Yes, innovation. And I think you're speaking to the right group of people. You know, as young people, we are very innovative. Mawubheka sabancane sasikwazi ukuthatha a brick steel uwenze ukuba imoto. Sidla uzizwe impela ngathi ukuba imoto nje impela. Sasikwazi ukuthatha ucingo silihlanganise senze inqola. You know, sasikwazi ukuthatha isondi, ithaya sifake kufake lezi zinto mase siyalibhusha. Do you understand? Leyo nto lokutshengisa umqondo wethu ucabanga at a different frequency nabantu abadala. Umuntu omdala uyibuka ngokungcola lento lena but wena innovation then uthatha isitini was and you recreated it ukuthi kube imoto. So now another impediment that impedes abantu abancane ukuthi ama ideas abo ukuthi abe success, it's because abantu abadala are not in the same wave frequency as us. For example, if Owen Sithole taking the same idea and taking it to someone older, why is it ama queue itulo ebengeka understand Wi-Fi ama umbrella wena mfana usubhango yini. Again, but he brought it to a young person, which also is going to, I think, lead on to the next topic, ama collaborations. It's very important that youth supports youth. There are a lot of youth, successful young people abanama business nabo. Knock on those doors. Unganoki nje kuphela kwama business lamkhulu, but knock to people who can be able to relate with that innovation that you're bringing. But to speak directly to what Umangobese is saying here, Pesheya, they are way ahead of us, right? And what do you use your data for? Do you use your data to go on Instagram and Facebook? You should be using it data yakho lona uyithola for free ka MTN noma ka Cell C noma le boyfriend yakho ekushela ekufakela yona ukuthi ungene ku YouTube ucheck ukuthi what are they doing phesheya. Ungene ku internet ngempela ucheck ukuthi what are the new trends in China, what are the new trends in America, what are new trends in London, because into ezintsho oyibona la eSouth Africa sezindala lapha phesheya. So when ube ahead, ufika ubona ukuthi benzani mase uthatha lezo zinto uzoyimplementa la.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I think, you know, I'm going to deviate a little bit, and I like that you asked, you brought up the question of young people and bringing ideas to young people. And the reality, Uguti, you know, we find ourselves in a situation in South Africa where we are led by older people, you know, and, you know, we get relegated to the youth leagues and whatever the case may be. I think that's wherein the problem lies, because when you go to get funding, when you go to, because remember, these are the agencies and these are the only spaces that we can approach, because the banks are not here to see a young black person and their ideas, you know. To us, our value lies in us buying a car that we can't afford or purchasing a home. It is in credit. You know, that's the value that they see in us. So I think, you know, kuno masipala lana, we would like to see young people holding those positions of influence and taking up space, because that's where we're going to see the difference. And unfortunately, we are Africans. By nature, our culture is very paternalistic. Wisdom, umuntu omdala, umuntu omusha, you know, fanele amenge move. So it's very hard to overcome the way that we are sort of geared to think. So that's the first thing. Within society to create an environment that is conducive to innovation. We can talk 4IR all we want. It is the next mandate from the government or whatever the case may be. But if we're not being practical about who is driving those programs, then, you know, it's just another program. So those are the things for me that are also critical to change.
But luckily for us, the lady who put this all together is actually a young person over there, Unonku. So shine to Unonku once again. That's why we need more young people. I mean, okay, just one last question from my side, then I'm going to open up the floor to you guys for Mbuzo Eninayo. You mentioned, Pumlani, something about collaborations, which is another topic of conversation that we need to talk about. Practically, Magboga Ama Co-op, they have shown a very poor success rate, Konala, South Africa, especially like KZN. Abantu abeko good, ex-sebenzisaneni. Kuhlezi kuzovela indaba zemali, it's always kubangwa imali njalo into ezohlukanisa ama co-op indaba yokubanga imali noma omunye osesikhundleni ongafuna ukuphuma wink wink safa bese kuba khona other things esemaceleni that always come up ukuthi hayi bafuna kuba abantu besilisa bodwa, always the same things that make ama collaborations. I-co-op was just one of the examples. But there are other businesses, mawabu ukuthi hawuyazi usibanibani mengase asebenze nosibanibani lento yabo would actually, you know, work out. Nangu makeup, nangu ingubo, why bengahlangani owe makeup nowe ingubo ama client meliphuma la client liye la lisuke la ile la basebenzisana. Why kungasebenzeki ama collaborations?
Yeah, that's a tough one because I'm sure most of us have experienced it. I think nami ngisaqala businessini, I was in many partnerships, and our sebenzi, I might get too deep into this, but basically main thing which we've got different ideologies, we've got different ways of doing business. I can go on and on and on, and I think listen to ziyaclash. So it's very important ukuthi uqala umcheck umuntu ozosemsana kungabi umngani kuphela. I'll make another example for Owen. Owen, when he came to me company yakhe unama partners awu-3. Ngiyababuza ukuthi obani la, ukuthi one umngani wami is my best friend from high school. Hey. Okay. Mase ngithi i-contribution akuthi no uyena olethe itulo. Ngithi okay, that is a valuable contribution. Then athi lo munye yes no, and ngithi ubani intombazane le, no, this is my girlfriend.
Said he's single, Jay. What do you mean?
He's single now.
No, begumdaisela. Ati no, I've added her in here, you know, she's a silent partner, and which, and that's how as young people we think. But I mean, as I've been in business, I can see, which, okay, this is a cocktail for disaster. And that's why then, so I can be able to restructure all of this properly. So I think main thing, I'm a copy structure, siko, wonke umuntu boss, wonke umuntu CEO, wonke umuntu finance manager, and once sakwazi ukuthi siyistructureishe kahle lento lena, then it izohamba kahle. But what I'd advise, Mina, if someone wants to have a social impact in the community, I think my sister will touch more on this than me, is there's something called social entrepreneurship, which I know I saw it's one of the topics that a social entrepreneur is someone who sees a social need, but in a business form. So as a social entrepreneur, you depend imali from funding kuphela. Uyakwazi ukuraise imali from ukudayisa something lana and then uyisemise back emphakathini. Bandile ukhona? Bandile sukuma. Yeah, that is a young man, Bandile. He's so young, but he's a social entrepreneur. A quick example, it's fine. I'm not sure who to single no man, but yeah. So Ubandile was part of a program that I did, I think it's 4 years ago, which was called Future Leaders. It was on SABC1. So I was the mentor for EKZN, so and Ubandile was chosen out of high school wonke ukuthi ngimmentorish. So to cut a long story short, Ubandile ngummentorish ufuna uqala i-soccer team. Le soccer team ufuna ukuthatha abantu abenza ama-drugs around the community abana talent. Sihlanganise, then nobandile sigcine sambile mangobe saze safika eBrazil, sathatha le team la eMlazi, abafana kade beyibhemela insango beyiphuzela utshwala, sabahlanganisa, sabafundisa ibhola kade belazivele, sayistructureisha lento yabo lena, bahamba baya phesheya. Babefika eBrazil benza kahle nakhona, and I think some of them bagcine bathola ama sponsors from that side. But to touch on ubandile ukuthi akagcinanga lapho, which is social entrepreneurship. Wabuya futhi wathi no, as much as le program isiphelile, but mina ngifuna ukuyiqhubeka lento lena. Usefunde mangosuthu manje is usese university. Mayifika khona waqala ileague yakhe yebhola. Same thing, students that are talented abakhona wayivula le company lena wangahamba ukuyofuna ifunding ku government or anything like that. Wabuya weza kuthina osomabhizinisi who are playing a role in the community wacela ifunding, and then usiyakwazi ukuyiranela yena ke manje le league, and this league is making money for him, which is social entrepreneurship.
Love that. And Bandile Usiwe here, I'm going to hijack her. Because when you talk about football, Usiwe and Hollywood Bets actually partner with myself every year to make a football tournament come possible. And I know Usi Hollywood Bets is very big on that. So Bandile, ngiyacela ukuthi mongatetela leli thuba leli, you're not going to get it. Usiwe, I can promise you, she will make sure you get that funding.
Yes.
Since we are out here putting each other on the spot, collaborations, I'm sure Induduzo Naisis of Fagu Petroleum Road. But that's what collaboration is about. I think, you know, we saw an amazing young lady here, Utandi. We loved what she was saying, it made sense. And so we want to support her. Collaboration doesn't necessarily mean within the same business song. I think it's identifying the same ethos, the same beliefs, systems and getting on board. You know, Tina, we collaborate a lot with Intenga Foundation. I mean, Calvin Tenga does amazing work in the community. I think he's the epitome of a social entrepreneur. And we saw what he was doing, and you know, he knocks on our door, and we're like, definitely, because we've seen the work. You know, the proof is in the pudding. We work with Unomza Mombata, with the Lighthouse Foundation, because she's passionate about education. And it's something that we did, but you know, Abantu associate us with betting, but they associate her with the good work that she does. So we said, you know what, let's get together, because through your reach, because Abantu Bakbona all over the world, we can get the message around education and the bursaries that are available out to more people. So those are examples of collaborations. Collaborating with you, of course, I was getting there. You know, in the community, because we're in the business, you know, of bookmaking. We can't do everything. So why not find people that are already doing those things and doing them well and just lending a hand? So for me, that, you know, is a prime example of collaboration.
And Hollywood Bets, guys, is doing a lot of work in the community. Mangabe, you're a business person in the community. You've got a proper business plan. I promise you, there's no way whatever that you need or whatever you require. But the key here is to always make sure your admin is in order, because I think as black businesses in general, when it's time for us to account for the monies that we get or whatever it is that we're doing, siyahluleka in that regard. Our paperwork is never ready. Kumnandi pitch an idea, but when you have to pitch, people will not take your word for something. They want to see what lo muntu thought through yonke lento. So that's why it's always important, whatever idea that you have, think it through, write it down, make it practical, put numbers, expectations, inputs, outputs, konke lokho, ukuze ibhizinisi lakho likwazi ukube impumelelo. So I'm just going to take it to the floor now for any questions. Please, cela uphakamise kusa early, ningaphakamise bephuma ngomnyango ngiyacela. Ngicela ukuqala kuwena. So I've got one, I've got two there. Okay, so it's one, it's two, three la. I saw a hand here, 4, 5 for Puti, and then 6, 7. Okay, so we've got 7 questions, that's it. Okay, with the blue, please. Please do introduce yourself.
Okay, Sanbon, ngicela ubengela ama speakers lapha phambi nawe sisijessing. Igama lami uMelusi waMlamu ngihlala eMlazi. So angisho ngislapha ngi-social entrepreneur, but I work with ama NPO amaningi. Angina NPO, but I partner with ama NPO amaningi. So usually ngo-August last year sakwazi provide i-gross sifika ogogo abasemphakathini. On a second hand, I understand ukuthi uSuperbets unemali ne. So supply chain yenu inkulu, but mhlawumbe I wanna do mhlawumbe cleaning because I have certificate sokucosha iphepha. Ukuthi like is it possible mhlawumbe ukuthi ngibe supplier mhlawumbe, because I know ukuthi ngisipane emabhelidini. So and another thing is that a soccer tournament is something that has been very ekade ngiyiplan ukuthi iyaphazamisa nje i-COVID-19. So bengicela ukubuza okay mhlawumbe ikhona mhlawumbe singasebenzisana ngayo on a personal side, now side the community. Yeah,
okay, before you answer. Okay, as a business person, for all business people here, when you're going to a potential sponsor and you're going to pitch yourself, make sure you know who the sponsor is. Make sure you understand their brand. And the worst thing you can do is call your possible sponsor their competitor. It's Hollywood Bets, not Lord Mushoman. So just be careful, okay?
So just to clarify, ubuzumbuzo of supply, is a supply chain, but angikuzwanga kahle but ngicela ungiphindela just that one first.
Okay, ngine-cleaning company enginayo. So bengibuza ukuthi is it possible mhlawumbe ukuthi in one of the building mhlawumbe ngingangisiza mhlawumbe ukuthi ngiclean.
Cleaning company.
Yeah, cleaning company.
Okay,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
And then on the other side, as a umuntu omusha active emphakathini, angina NPO now, but I do partner with NPO. Like right now, I've got guys abesoka. Sakhuluma nabo before 2010 ukuthi okay bafuna senze something So, and on the other side, futhi ngiphinde ngifide futhi umphakathi ukuthi okay, ngingathi mhlawumbe ningizamela ama food parcel na mhlawumbe just ukuthi mhlawumbe ngiphinde again ogogo laba abahlala nabazukulu ngiphinde futhi ngibaphe ukudla. So, bekuyimbuzo ebikanjalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, King. Just to answer your question, so Hollywood Bets is made up of a group of companies, right? So a lot of stuff that we do for our business, we in-source. We have a group of companies. We've also got a company that does cleaning. However, it does not mean that we cannot support you. So umungena ngale kule linye itende, kukhona i-Hollywood Foundation. Now the Hollywood Foundation is the non-profit organization under the Hollywood group of companies. We do enterprise and supplier development, ukusiza amabhizinisi amancane ukuthi akwazi to either get some level of support with material that they need, products that they need, any resources kahle to take them to the next level. So although we may not be able to necessarily give you a contract, but we can support you in taking your business to the next level, definitely. So ngicela ukuthi ukhulume nalabo sesabangale, they'll give you all the information that you require. Bakwazi ukuchecka na ukuthi unazo zonke izinto right oyidingayo so that uzokwazi ukuhamba uyoyiprepare kahle. Okwe soccer tournament, definitely. You know, football development is a big part of what we do. Emphakathini, so uma se right in a proposal yakho nakhona lapha etafuleni sokunikeza ama details of the area manager for Umlazi. Bahlale bebheka ama soccer tournament njalo nje. So Leo proposal, definitely.
Thank you so much, Sabonga. And remember collaborations. Mawune soccer tournament mhlawumbe khona enye khona angazabe u50. Mhlawumbe find a way ukuthi collaborate. But next question, where's the second question? Imike isihambile. Okay.
Sanibona. Igama lami ubuhle benkosi and angeke ngibuze. And umbuzo wami ngiyaxolisa ngeke ngibuze nje into enkulu engaka kodwa bengifuna ukubuza ukuthi makuthi awunali business and uyawuthanda umsebenzi wobusiness kodwa awunali ya information when into yaziyo ukinvesta which mhlambe o recommend khona ukuthi unga investa khona ila eAfrica for example no mhlambe kwamazwe angaphandle mhlambe let's say mhlambe i-estimate yakho ye-pocket ingango 30,000 which angazi noma mhlambe umbuzo wami uclear kodwa
Okay. No, thanks. Mangukuzwe kahle ufuna ukucheck ukuthi okay, makuthiwa unemali ufuna uku-investa, unga-investa eAfrica noma u-investe ngaphandle. Mina I'm a Pan-Africanist at heart, so ngiyabelievela ukuthi investe eAfrica. Ngibelievela kakhulu futhi ukuthi even before ukuthi uphume ngaphandle uye kwi-SADC region uye kwi-Africa yonke, uqala uinveste la eSouth Africa. But before futhi uye kwi-South Africa yonke or uye kwi-province yonke uqala uinvest around your community. The reason why ngisho kanjalo is because we understand the community yakho. We understand umphakathi la uhlala khona. So makukhona imali ofuna ukuyi-investa, the best place to start is within your community. Because mase ngithi manje hambe uyo-invest eGoli, mhlambe okwazi eGoli, hambe uyo-invest eCape Town okwazi eCape Town, and ungathola lapho investment yakho igcina ingahambi ngale ndlela ofuna ihambe ngayo. So it's very important ukuthi makukhona imadlana ekhona nayo into ofuna uku-investa kuyona, invest around the lie of the land oyi-understandayo, invest around the community oyi-understandayo.
Zwakale kahle. Okay.
Hello. Sanibonani.
1, 2, 2.
Igama lami nguThapsile wakashezi. I'm from Umlazi as well. Besithanda ukubonga nge-business fair that's currently happening namhlanje, as it gives us a chance as a youth to kind of express or get information. Because nigena mention alaphana ukuthi being a business person akukho lula. However, mina I'm strong on the fact that I'm a business as the youth siyawaqala. Probably could be because you're gullible or you have an idea. However, into edala ukuthi lo ma business angabi successful is the funding, that you lack funding. So I would like ukuthi le platform evulekile namhlanje ingapheleli nje from just hearsay. However, I request that more information is made available, just like Umama was saying, Hollywood Bates. Thank you for the foundation that you just said, Uguti. If unento ofuna ukuyithola, ikhona indawo la we will get it. Ekunye ngade ngifuna ukusho ukuthi, still based on the fact of funding, ama-companies amaningi that are kind of created, awabi successful because they lack money. Nami sengizocela ukuthi ngi-advertise. I have a business, but I'm mostly in an industry where it's male dominated. However, I'm into logistics. Kodwa right now, I feel like I'm in a standstill because the vehicles enginawo abenenkinga. However, I can't continue because I don't have the money. But I do have umsebenzi that will actually project me further to the future. Ngoba I feel more vuling company is not only about you, but as you guys had said, when you have a company, you employ 2 or 3 people, and those people give back to their families and provide for abantu abadingayo. So a business ungayibuki kuphela ukuthi it's going to be beneficial for you, ube ne lavish car or uhlale endaweni ebizayo. So I really like ukuthi lezi zinto esikhuluma ngazo namhlanje siqiniseke ngaso ukuthi we want to take it further because the future is in our hands as the youth. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Sanibonani, Ayanda Mdlophane wala ka Yugo 4. Ngithi nami angiphakame ngifake nami izilami esivivaneni. Ngiqhubeka kuloya mbuzo kamfowethu uhamba ne-investment. I think no ayusisi futhi ukuthi ke njoba ke nama leaders bebusiness nina senikwazile ukufinyelela lapho uthi niwaqala amabhizinisi. Senza kanjani ke thina njengomphakathi ukucollaborate nani sibambisane sithathe otiki bethu abancane emaphaketheni sikwazi ukuphosa lapho singene nathi as ama-investor ngoba I believe i-business is not just about operations. Kuba khona ama-shareholders nazo izinto ey'njengalezo ngemuva. Sikuthola kanjani lelo thuba-ke thina njengomphakathi ukuthi amabhizinisi akhona aseqalile siwabonayo ukuthi hayi impela leli lihle liyahamba liyaphambili ukuthi sikwazi nathi kuba mdibi nalelo bhizinisi. Njengoba usushilo ubhuti nje nendaba yehlala ngizwe ngayithanda mina. Kodwa ukuthola ithuba ukuthi nathi singakuthola kanjani sibambisane naye ubhuti sifake lokho okuncane okukhona emaphaketheni ukuthi kuqhubeke phambili. Ngiyabonga.
Okay, yo. Umfowethu ukhuluma ngendaba ye-shareholding, ukhuluma ngendaba ye-investment to ama-business. I think mangikhulumela thina as IBF, we've been able to franchise the business lethu. So if you want to buy a franchise, it's easy to go to the office lethu, sikwazi ukukunika information, or go to our website, www.ibfs.co.za, then uzoyithola yonke information. But got us to touch on what you're speaking currently right now, mostly from around the Mlaz. Look what we did. Owen Sithole is a young local boy, or coming a business idea around the community la esenza khona business nathi. Wakwazi ukubona khona isidingo and then wakwazi ukubona ne-opportunity sangwazi ukwenza business ngayo. So mina ngokushoyo ukuthi there's many other young people abakhona lana who've got brilliant business ideas, but uthola ukuthi udinga nje 1,000 ukuthi aqale. You know, sometimes you think with most of them they need millions. Omunye nje mhlawumbe nje udinga ukuthi 1,000 aqale, omunye udinga u5 rand ukuthi aqale. So my advice would be ukuthi I think we should make abantu abanjengomfowethu more visible. You know, as umuntu omnyama, if you're a young person and you've got a brilliant business idea and you need the funding, these are the kind of people abangakwazi ukuthi bak-assist. But more and so, now mfowethu sikwazi ukuthi understand this ukuthi once you've invested in the business, now it has to make commercial sense, how you get shareholding and how you can be able to grow with the business. Approaching big businesses kanjena might be a bit difficult because then kukhona into ebizwa nge-Johannesburg Stock Exchange, but I don't want to be too deep because of the crowd. But then lapho usungena kwi-JSE semele uthenga ama-shares, or you get to a big company, they have to dilute ama-shares. It becomes a bit complicated. But I'm very happy that within the community there's a people like my brother who's standing up, who listen, I'm here, I want to invest in businesses around the community.
I think it's an opportunity for me to clarify. That's why I had to pass the buck, because we get a question a lot at Hollywood Bets, Uguti, can people own the franchise? So no, it's a privately owned business. It's not even registered on the stock exchange. But the point is that the manner in which we see an opportunity to invest is through the enterprise and supply development. So that's where we would partner with you. Or if you want to invest in a certain business or you believe in a certain business, then we have the opportunity to come in as the angel investor to support you. But I think therein lies a good opportunity for platforms, for young people with business ideas to actually connect with investors, because the challenge that we have is that we think it's these big tech startups, that can raise funding, through the investment. But I think it goes back again to this thing of the concept of what deserves to be called a business, a legitimate business, and what is just a small idea. No, it's just a small thing that I do. It's not. All businesses start out small. All ideas start out small, but they have the potential to be something great. So yeah, I think there's a definite opportunity there.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? I've identified people already, right? Yeah. So we're just going to take those last questions because we do have to move on. We still have 2 other sessions left.
Ngiyabingelela, Program Director, nazo zonke izikhulu ezikhona namhlanje ngokulandelana kwazo. Igama lami ngu-Amanda Ngwakamseleko. Firstly, before ngibuze imibuzo yami kuma-guest akhona lapha phambili, ngizoqala ngigcizelele khona into ekuyashiwo uSis Jacinta ne-speaker esihambile khona manje, indaba ye-education. As young people in businesses, we lack information. We lack knowledge. Kunento eyenzekile, if you apply for a grant manje, they ask you if you have a business certificate. Some of us don't even have any qualification, but in order for you to access that grant or funding, at least you have to have a qualification which is a business certificate or whatever. And then going back to Mr. Njilo uthe, you don't need imali at all to start a business. But hey, angazi kanjani, but sizocela ukuthi usichushise lapho ukuthi how come you don't need imali in order to start a business, because it's very hard. Even if you Google uzenzela wena on your own, you need the data, which is something that we don't have as young people like here. They don't even have airtime right now, but please tell us, how do you do it without having imali in order to start a business? And then to you, Mangolo Somuhle, because you mentioned something about containers that you give to young people in order to start their businesses. How does one apply for that container, or usiya lapaya just uguti usicacisele lapho nje? And then in closing, kona into eshiwo ubab Njilo about partners kabhuti lana. When you start the journey, it becomes serious to a point whereby uyabuzwa ngisho nange-partner yakho. When you sign for maybe a grant or whatever, uyabuzwa lapho ukuthi ushadile yini, and then they ask for your spouse to sign in order for them to give you a grant. I don't know why, but you guys can tell us. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, in the interest of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the other people who had questions to please stand up and ask a question, and then they'll answer them all at once so that we can move on. I believe there was someone there, and there was someone there as well. So if you can just take those 2 questions, the roving mics, please, and then we can proceed. Thank you very much. You're going to be able to remember that.
But maybe while we're still getting the mic out, just to reiterate again, Hollywood Foundation iyatholakala kwitende lelelinye. Umungena nje uhambe straight uzofika egcineni, kunama details ukuthi uapply kanjani for refunding, kunencwadi ekhona etshengisayo futhi nama examples of ama projects esiwenzayo. Ngicabanga ukuthi nalokho kuyasiza kakhulu ukuze understand ukuthi into oyicabangayo mhlambe you know, what type of ideas or what type of projects do we look for. Siyathanda ukuthi sibe very broad in terms of identifying opportunities, asifisi to box abantu sithi no lokhu kubalekile yonke into ibalekile. As it was mentioned, a business most times livulwa because a problem has been identified and those people are solving that problem. So we will always fund as long as it makes sense. Uyakwazi nokusithola ku www.hollywoodbetsfoundation.net. So, sorry, hollywoodfoundation.net. Sengjalo Hollywood Bets, Hollywood Foundation, awukho bets ekugcineni. Uyakwazi ukusithola and you'll find out more details. Kukhona iform nakhona online nama projects ukuthi what do we look for when we you know, we vet ama projects for funding.
All right, the two questions, please.
Sanibonani. Okhulumayo uSandile Caba. No, hayi lo Caba lo Caba nje. Ngizoba nemibuzo emibili. Bese ngiba nesicelo kuMango bese. Ukuthi njengoba sine business fair nje, umuntu ubuka i-theme yayo. I-theme yale business fair is very powerful. Ikhuluma ukuthi thina abantu abasha kanje nabantu besifazane siparticipate emnothweni. Ngizocela ukuthi ukuba nale business fair uma futhi sekwenzeka iphinde ibuye sicele kube nabantu abazoba khona la abazothi i-business fair eyayi ngomhla ka-25 June la kwaMnyandu yasiza lona so that singayithathi into enhle kanje ibe yinto ukuthi sizoyi advertise bekuyi task kaMango bese loyo. Umbuzo wami uqala lapha kusisi ophakathi nendawo waka Hollywood. Lana sisi njengoba nibona ngumdlali werugby as you can see.
Sibona ngani? Sibona ngomkhaba.
Uyidlakela.
All right, I play rugby. Ukuthi into engajwayelekile emphakathini wabantu abamnyama. Well ke mina ngizalelwe la ngakhulela la yonke into yala eMlazi ngiyayazi. Ukhona umunye umfowethu esidlala naye rugby ukuthi uya nangu lapha ngasemnyango. Yeah, sidlala naye rugby as you can see sidlala naye rugby. La into engifuna ukuyikhuluma no Hollywood. I-rugby la emphakathini wabantu abamnyama ithathwa njengesport samabhunu. Sikhule nathi sitshelwa lonto mangifika ekhaya ngitshela uma ukuthi ngisayodlala ungitshela ukuthi ngingalimali kuphela. Akanendaba nokuthi ngizodlala kahle noma ungitshela ukuthi ngingalimali ngoba unenkolelo yokuthi irugby yabantu abelungu. Well ke lokho kuyiprove ukuthi nami sengidlala kubelungu. Why? Because ama club esikhulele siwadlala la esiwadlalela la elokishini eMlazi okokuqala awanayo i-development. Udlalela yona uzube mdala uzuphume. Ngoba irugby nesikhathi sokungena ama-under 20 kuze uyidlalela uzuphume ayikho i-development. Sengize ngaphuma ngayodlalela abelungu le emanzi Mtoti ngoba bona bane development. I-rugby iqalwe esikoleni umzali uyayihlupha ngengane eyodlala i-rugby uhamba naye ephelezela hayi lento yethu thina esikhule kuthiwa mangibuya ngibamba unyawo kanje ethi ngutshelile ayikho support but engabi bekhweni kwesupport uyayisibona isizathu ayikho i-rugby la but akhona ama club e-rugby awu 3 ama club a top adlala kwinyunyana elapha na kuma Sharks but ngoba ngikhuluma ngeHollywood ngiyafisa ukuthi kube nento engenzeka because into once of involve igama elithi development obvious usu involve igama elithi imali. Abadlali banamhlanje abadlala kwi-rugby bafuna amakhokho bafuna imali ke sekuyaholwa ka-rugby. Mina ngiyahola la engidlala khona. Omunye kwengibuza ukuthi Caba why uhlezi ukhuluma ngerugby kodwa ikhona eyala engabe uthuthukisa eyala ayizikunikeza imali. La engidlala khona bayangiholela. Uma akayifuni uthi yangilimaza kodwa mase ngibuya nemali ngithi nayi ngithatha kurugby uyajabula. Kodwa mangihamba ngiyodlala ogwini lapha esikoleni engifunde kusona, ngizobuya ngilimele, ngiphuma amazinyo ngingaphethe imali. So bengicela mina I'm all about developing. Bengicela kwa Hollywood ukuthi kube khona into esiyenzayo ngama club la ngoba makhona ama club and mangase ngithathe njengamanje kuyadlalwa nje ukubona nje ngingcolile ngilo ngivuke ngo4 mina ngixuba izinto eziningi ngixuba irugby ngixuba ibusiness ngixuba umsebenzi anginaso isikhathi sokulala kuyadlalwa nje manje mungasuye kulama club aphezulu abelungu wonke umuntu omnyama ozomfica lapho ongumZulu umuntu wasemlazi la ama clubinate ayastrugglisha into ke leyo bengizacela ukuthi kwenzeke something ngaleyo nto leyo isicelo bese kuthi kubhuti umbuzo ogcina ke nginawo la mina nabanye abafowethu besine I would say besine club kodwa I club efundisa about financials ipolitiki nana yonke nje into ethinta ezezimali. I mean, I'm business minded. I know how to start a business. I know how to run a business. But into engiyibone kakhulu ngokufunda lapha amathuba. South Africa njengomlazi. There are a lot of opportunities, but I still believe ukuthi lama opportunities anabanikazi bawo. Akekho ufuna ukukhuluma ngaleyo nto. There are opportunities in South Africa, but those opportunities anabanikazi bawo. It's easy to say, hey, Kaba, you are young, start a business. Ngithi ngani uqala business? Uma ngihamba ngebank izongitshela ukuthi lidinga inkampani elenza u5 million ngonyaka kuze ngichaze. Ngifuna ukuqala business ungitshela ukuthi ufune ngibe no5 million kuze ungichaze. Ngifuna ukuliqala kodwa. It's like saying I want a job and you say you need experience. Yini ngidinga I need a job to have experience or I need experience to have a job. Izinto ekanjalo ukuthi we are not talking about those things. I have a company. I also have a company, but I'm not going to talk about my company. I have a company. But we need entrepreneurs more than we need business people. Because abantu abangama business will come here and say, I have a business. I do this, I do that. At the end of the day, loya muntu abazosigezakala ngalutho. So my question to by the way, unfortunately, samiswa ke library. Rightfully so, library akuyona yokuzofundisa kufuneka umsindo lapha. Kufuneka ufunde uthule. So simisiwe ngaleso zathu leso sokuthi asisena indawo ama halls izinto eziningi abo izinto zakoThekwini ziyaqashelwa yonke into ifuna imali. Then we had to stop because imali asinayo. So kuwena but bengizocela ukuthi from that sense anjani nakhona I'm not saying nginikeze idea yabona ungase bhuti uze la almost 100% olabantu abala they have ideas so we don't need ideas anymore we have all of us have ideas now we need action as youth we can't have that steam ezothi must participate in what. Last week we clarification meeting. Abangayazi lo meeting eba khona before award we attend. Let me tell you something. Bekuyimina ngedwa umuntu omusha. 1. 2 umuntu wesifazane beyedwa naye bethunyiwe. Abantu abalapha abantu badala bodwa. I-tender system yala elokishini iphethwe abantu abadala. Until then, but sizoqala ke sibe neni sehlise izinga le corruption. Angeke ngisiqede ngoba isiqede sizolehlisa izinga le corruption but leya team leya sifuna ukuphila ngaleya team hayi kube yinto nje esizoyikhuluma ngoba kumnandi ukuyikhuluma. Thank you very much.
All right. I believe umbuzo ogcina lo yazi putting khona la uthe khona ningibona nje ngiyahola ngo kasusu uyahola bengithi uzothi as we can see phela we can see a lot through you. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first question. Dula Payana, I believe you still remember. Usiwe upendulile wena uPhumlani who just has to answer that. And then bese kuba khona umbuzo wakho bhuti. Uthe ubani igama? Sorry ngisakhumbula. Uthami. Sandile. All right. So Usandile is very passionate about the topic It wasn't a question, it was a comment. So there's 2 questions.
Yeah.
All right. Just for FYI, for when Asandile, in terms of it, Durban Business Fair, if you're saying what you want to see, ama success stories, and Kulumeli Umaspala, Ngambonu Nonku is not with us anymore because we are not who would have been best fitted to Pendula Lumbuz. But we had a conversation with them yesterday, and they did say that they do have on their Durban Business Fair page, which you can also go look up, success stories from people who have been at the Durban Business Fair. So I believe good even a continuation from people who have been helped. So comment was very relevant, but I do believe it's been addressed. But I will confirm just to go show on their platforms on Facebook and on Instagram, they do have success stories that they do document so you can check that. Pumlan?
Okay, perfect. To answer umbuzo wasiswami lana, uthena, I said you don't need funding ukuqala business, but yena uthi no, uqala kanjani funding ingekho. It's a very good question and I get it all the time. That's why ngize no Owen namhlanje. Umuntu owafika kumina engana funding but business eseliqalile. So as I said, Owen owns a company called EasyQ. Wabona isidingo Home Affairs ukuthi abantu badinga izitulo, wathena no it's fine uzobaqashisela izitulo. Wayenganayo imali yezitulo, waya kumngani wakhe, right? Onezitulo zakubo ezihleli. Abakho mali qha funding lapho. Wathatha lezo izitulo lezo wazisa eHome Affairs wafuna ukuhlalisa abantu. Mayifike ethi ufuna ukuhlalisa abantu eHome Affairs, umasipala khona kuthiwa ama bylaws. Bamxosha khona. Still nalapho akadinganga funding ukuthi hambe eyokhuluma nomasipala. He went for himself kwamasipala and he was able to find a gap within law le kade imbind ukuthi trade. Mayisuka lapho he creates a business plan. Akayanga siswam to a consultant to get a business plan. Lokho kuncane akufunde esikoleni, which I'm glad you touched on ukuthi education is very important. Lokho kuncane akufunde esikoleni ukwazi ukuhlanganisa business plan. So to cut a long story short, when Owen comes to me, he comes to me not with just a business idea, but a business eseliqalile. Ufika kumina uthi no ngiyile eHome Affairs izitulo bafuna ukuyiqasha. I tested the market, but nganenkinga yamasipala. I was able to overcome that because ngakwazi ukuthi ngikhulume nomasipala ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngikwazi ukuthi trade. So ufika kumina useza nebusiness that has been tried and tested. So it's easy as a company like me ukuthi ngikwazi ukuthi ngizo-invest or ngi-partnership in a company yakhe. So what am I saying to young people? Ufuna ukuvula isalon, okuluka osisi nje around ngakini siza straight back sakho ukuthi sinjani. Ubashuthe, ubathethisa ama video, basinqobe bathi uyashaya straight back noma iSnoopy. Usufika kwi-IBF, usufika ka-Hollywood Bets, uphethe lama video lawo, uthi bukani, elokishini bayakhala nge-straight back sami, ngicela ningisize ukuthi ngivuke isalon. Do you understand? You started somewhere without funding. Then funding is there to make your business grow, not to make your business start. Yeah.
Do you want to answer Sandile just in wrapping up?
Okay, just to wrap up, Umbuso, very passionate. I'm not sure what's a young man, noma. Kodwa ngokubona kwami you look a bit young. Neyidlakela siyayibona mfowethu. Yeah, as we can see. He touched on a very important topic of we call it LED, local economic development. Ukuthi ufike ey'ndaweni zomphakathi and try to develop, whether it's socially or maybe you're trying to develop business akhona. What you find is, as Esho nayo, when it comes to i-area yakhe whereby ifuna ukudevelopa i-team ye-rugby, imali ayikho. So I think Hollywood Bets ila idingakala khona kakhulu mfethu ukuthi bafike beze emalokishini bangabheki i-sports lesi se-soccer kuphela, but start to look at other sports like i-rugby or cricket nana, because you can see abantu abaney'dlakela bakhona elokishini abakwaziyo ukuyidlala i-rugby. Then to touch on something which is very important, engizovala ngayo akhulumile ngayo futhi as well, ukuthi they have, I don't know, is it a business forum noma a sports forum around. They've got a business forum which is very good, and I encourage other young people or other young business people or other young inspiring entrepreneurs ukuthi bawavule lama forum and start getting these discussions going. Imagine this young group of people bahlangene baye library and with the small skill abanayo ebhizinisini bafuna ukufundisa abacushisa abantu. So what I'll say, I'll say you'd have to speak to ikhansela lasendaweni and start supporting these kinds of initiatives. And thank you to Business Fair, which has raised a platform whereby it's given my young brother a voice, Lapayana, which actually zikhona lezi zinto elokishini. We are here to be able to support my young businesses get information, because as my sister says, the main reason why young people fail is lack of information. Yazi mina, if I had the information enganginayo manje 10 years ago, engabe mhlambe ngiyibillionaire. Because it's information, you just need to be informed. Wazi ukuthi ngingqongqozephi, ngikhulume nobani, kanjani. And here's umbuso laphana uthi they do have that forum. So I'd really love for uMaspala and Deb's Business Forum through you, Mangobese, and the Hollywood Bets to support abantu abanjengomfowethu nama-forum. Now I'm invited. If you want to invite people outside, I stay in Durban, but outside of Mlazi, it's the figure so cool. Because not information tonight, and we want to share this information, but I'm a platform. So if you guys invite us, we'll be more than happy to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pumlan. I'm just going to hand over now to Siwe from Hollywood Bets. Is it on?
Yes. So actually, it's quite interesting. We do a lot in rugby. I-rugby, mina nami ngicabanga ukuthi into oyithola possibly your KZNs, your Gautengs, Vaal region, where you find a lot of Afrikaans people. Siphuma ngisho eLimpopo to go and sponsor a rugby club. We've sponsored women's rugby. We've been in the Eastern Cape to try and resuscitate ama clubs akudala, border rugby, because there was a dispute. I'm sure because you're someone who's in rugby, you're aware of the dispute and the challenges that border rugby have. So we partnered with a show called Ipaga Show on SuperSport, which is the only show rugby that is presented in isiXhosa and also promotes a commentary isiXhosa. So we've done a lot in rugby. In fact, we have sponsored women's rugby. We sponsor Umlazi Cricket Hub. So cricket, rugby, siyakwenza, but once again, inkinga information. So lento show is not even something we have to start. It's something that we're doing. It's a matter of you getting in touch with us and we make it happen. So I'm very happy that you're passionate about that, and we hope ukuthi now with the knowledge that you have, sizosebenzisana to be able to resuscitate lauma clubs and make sure ukuthi whatever we put forward, whatever we bring to the table is sustained, because ushinto ebalekile as well ukuthi noma singafanda as Hollywood, Hollywood Bets, akuwona umlazi kuphela onesidingo, there are needs across the country. But if also the community now doesn't get involved, if parents don't see it as an opportunity, for young people to make a living out of the sport. And in my colleague Morgan Shandu was here. We have an athletics club at Hollywood Beds that's got over 1,000 runners. One of our runners was actually the second runner up. We raced 2 Oceans. And that young man with 2 Oceans, he made a lot of money just by being a runner-up. And, we were actually looking at his story. Kubo bekunjani, usekwazile ukwakha umuzi, ufundisa ingane zakubo, uyaphila ngemali yokugijima. How many young people abakwazi ukugijima abangazi nokuthi konke kuthiwa ama athletics clubs okwazi ukwajoina, you can run as a career. Umugijimi comrade, you can actually win money if you do well. Even ama wrestler amancane o 10K or 21K, there's money to be made. So the biggest challenge is information, even around sport, the business of sport. So we are very involved in that. Once again, I ask you, reach out to us. We are willing to listen and we can make it happen.
And Siwe here is also working very hard day and night to make sure that she brings us Lionel Messi here in South Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please give her a round of applause for that. Okay, so our panelists have been absolutely phenomenal. Pumlan Jilo from Induduzo Bespokes. Can you give them a round of applause? Thank you so much. Before you leave, how do we get hold of Induduzo if we're trying to get ourselves ready for our funerals?
Yeah, we on social media, which is IBFS_South Africa, Sigu Instagram and Sigu Facebook as well. Or you can type in Induduzo Bespoke Funerals. We are a fairly young company. All of us, all the people we've employed currently in our Durban office are youth. All of them are under the age of 35. So even if you want to a message, you can send a DM. on Instagram or in Facebook, bazokuphendula, or you can send an email on our email address, which is info@ibfs.co.za, and you'll definitely get a response. And yeah.
Yeah, let's give Phumlani a round of applause. Thank you so much. And Siwe and I come from very, very far, so I'm very proud to see how much you've grown in this branding industry, especially with the company as big as Hollywood Bets, representing the company not just in South Africa but in Africa as a whole. I know you're always on top of the ball. I know when Siwe says she's going to do something, she really does get on and do it. So as I keep encouraging everyone, Sandile over there, Usiwe's here. Use her and make sure you get yourself known and your rugby team known and get as much from her as possible. I'm asking you kindly, use her. As you can see, she's here. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sandisiwe Pengu from Hollywood Bets. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Nisa, rise, guys. How? What's wrong? Kunabangeko right? DJ. Kashis and Lambile. Oh, okay. Before, the two people who won, please make sure what's in your itaflin that's Hollywood Bets and leave your number. Nyabazi, it's weird to that one in the morning. But right now, though, I'm going to carry on with the program because of time. I'm just going to welcome now onto the podium to give us a talk on women and youth empowerment. Now, this is not going to be a conversation. She's going to be addressing you and telling you more about social entrepreneurship as well as women and youth empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the one and only Unonkanyiso Lakongo. She is the orator and CEO of Lakongo Apparel as well as Lakongo Naturals. Let's welcome her onto the stage once again.
Sanmonani. Angizwa kahle sanmonani. Ninjani ethendeni? No ngiyabona ukuthi ngingena ngesikhathi esimbi kakhulu kuthiwa kuyabonakala ukuthi senilambile. Ngiyaxolisa kakhulu bomnge angizuba mude kakhulu. Nami ngiyaxolisa ukuthi angizokwazi ukuhlala kakhulu ngoba ngisemsebenzini ngiyakhona ngikushuthayo. uNkulunkulu muhle, glory to Jesus, hallelujah. Igama lami nguNonkanyiso kaChonco. Ugambo usheshaya imambo nyonganje izinde zamile emhlubulweni. Thina mangabe sihlaba inkomo sithi yabo iyaxhuga kanti vele siyithandela isteak. So ke ngibiziwe ke umnyango wakithi ngokukhulu ukuthokoza ngahlanganisa izandla zombili ngathi cha siyabonga ukuthi khona la iduzana umuntu ujwayele ukuthi ahamba amazwe eningizimu ayokhuluma le namhlanje kuyaqala ngqa. Siyabonga kuThekwini municipality ngicela nibashayele nezandla ukuthi benze initiative enhle njengale ukuthi bahlanganise sizokhuluma ngalokho. So ngingathandi ke ukuthi ngiprepare ngoba uma ngabe kuthiwe cela uzobeka amabili amathathu bese ngilalela umoya ukuthi uthini. So nizongivumela ukuthi sixoxele sikhulumanela ngithi ngekuthiwa sokhuluma. Okay, Swiri. So it is unfortunately ke ngicela ukubingelela also ama speakers ethu. Mnge good to see you Mazulu. Jessica, thank you. Jacinta, sorry. Good to see you. Umuntu omusha thina ke angazi noma ibhadi noma inhlanhla yena ukuthi isikhathi esiphila kuso siyadunguzela. Ngolesithathu kwa announce ukuthi cha awasekho ama mask. jiki bomnge sekuthiwa angazi noma chicken what or monkey bani. So okukhombisa konako ukuthi kudunguzela kangakanani isikhathi esiphila kusona. Kubalekile ukuthi umuntu omusha noma umuntu nje ophilayo uzazi uqobo lwakho noma uzazi ukuthi wena ubani ukuze ikhathi ezifana nalezi ngiyaxolisa ukuthi ngenze iexample ngo-current pandemic but nanoma yini ekufikelayo ku-doorstep yakho ngoba wena uyazazi ukuthi ubani ingakutatazelisi ngoba ziyafika izimo emhlabeni but uma ngabe ungazazi ungazinzile ngaphakathi lakho uyabonakala you are shaken. So uzazi kanjani ukuthi ingabe mhlasimpe ubani noma ufunani? Imvelaphi yakho nomlando nje wakho ubalekile ukuthi ufune bese uyagcina kuwo bese uba umuntu onyathela ngenhloso noma abanye bathi purpose. Ube umuntu ophilayo ube nawo amaphupho. Ube umuntu ophilayo ube nayo intshisakelo. Yazi ukuthi khona abantu abaphilayo Mazolo mthothi usena 60 years kodwa wafa eno 28 years. Ngoba zathi mayifika izimo waseyafa ngaphakathi. Uyaphila nje liyaphuma liyashona ngoba phela liyaphuma ilanga ngithi indalo. But intshisakelo ngaphakathi isafa. Uselento usuku lakhe. So lento yokuzazi nokufuna ukwazi ukuthi ufuna nokuba intshisekelo weyingane zakwethu ayikho into impossible la emhlabeni. uNkulunkulu nje obesidalile into ayifunayo ukuthi asiphile kuphela. Okwakho ukuthi uphile ungaqhathanisa ukuthi umnge uphila kanjani omunye unjani okwakho ukuthi uphile konke futhi bese ukusubmitha kuyena. Ngoba ikhona lento ukuthi uma ngabe izimo nama pandemic esihlasela bese uthi ukuqhela kumdali wakho kanti umdali wakho uyona phila yakho. Ngicela ubambe lezi zinto ezintathu ke. Ngicela ukukhulekela ukuthi umusa kaNkulunkulu ungakushiyi. Ngoba uma ngabe isandla sakhe somusa singaphezulu kwakho ukunqoba konke kwasemhlabeni. Isandla sakhe somusa masiphezulu kwakho noma ivunguvungu ifika zishaya differently ngoba wena ukhulekela umusa kaNkulunkulu ukuthi awufike kuwe. Noma ngabe usengozini yemoto kubatshaza kuthiwa hayi iphelile imoto but uphuma unganamuntu. Bese ubonga ukuthi umusa kaNkulunkulu unawe. Iphila yokuqala yami leyo ngiphila ngayo engifuna ukuthi nawe mhlawumbe ngingakusiza mfethu. Nawe ungayibamba uhambe nayo. Khulekela igrace ukuthi ayihlale kuwe. Umcela uNkulunkulu uthi uyikhulekela zonke ezinye izinto ezobukhazikhazi noma ezibonakala engazuthi ziyikho konke la emhlabeni. But ucela umusa kaNkulunkulu ukuthi awuhlale nawe. Okwesibili bese uba neqiniso nengaphakathi lakho. Ngoba ingaphakathi lakho mina ngikwazi ukulibona mnge. Swiri. Ingaphakathi lakho ungasikhohlisa ngaphandle but ingaphakathi lakho isiziba sakho kufanele sibe nokuthula. Ngoba nengaphandle lakho liyayixoxela noma ungashilo lutho noma singasho nje mnge ukuthi yazi mnge ngiright but mangisolela inhliziyo kwakho ngoba mnge uyangazosho ukuthi mnge awukho right. So kunento ke ngiyibonile ke la emhlabeni eyenzakalayo ukuthi abantu bazibalekele ngengaphakathi. Ngathi khona self introspection, kukhona self confrontation, kukhona ini. But bese kuba khona self honest. Ayi mnge nina engathi ngicabanga istake. Aningizwa mnge. Niyangizwa Shilexo. Okay. So ingaphakathi lakho mangabe linokuthula honest with yourself. Nenqumo oyithathayo empilweni uzithatha ngokuthula. Awuxhamazeli as long wena ingaphakathi ugrand honest uthi hayi. Okay impilo usufikile ithi ngibe honest impilo isifikile angidile nayo. Atatazele mnge social media uyingxenye enkulu. Social media is a very small space mnge. Only 4% of the population abantu abaku social media but the way nomsindo ngakhona ungaze uthembe ukuthi lento edayiswa lapha iyiqiniso. Ngiyafisa ukuthi sibe igeneration uma siposta isithombe noma siposta into ifane nengaphakathi lethu. Uma ngabe ngiphozile ngithe ngabhala i-caption nca happiness emntaneni ingaphakathi libe yi-happiness. So that's my second pillar, ube honest nengaphakathi lakho. Ngiyayithanda ke lo line othi energy never lies. Energy ayiqamba amanga ngempela. Mangithi energy ngisho ingaphakathi lakho. Iphila yesithathu ukuthi mangabe uNkulunkulu noma ngoba sonke njoba sila endlini uNkulunkulu usembathisile iziphiwo zethu noma usifumbathisile iziphiwo zethu ngamunye ngamunye. Omunye ngaba umhlabaleli kunenjilo funerals yabo nje mina Nkosi yami angazi ngenze njani funeral phala mase kuthiwa ngisebenza khona. But angikwazi ukuthi ngiqala into ngoba nakho ngiyibona ukuthi hayi engathi imali nokusheshanyana la noma hey ngoba sesijahile soft life angithi. So wherever you are lokho uNkulunkulu akufumbathisa kona okunye futhi fanele uyifune ipurpose yakhe emhlabeni. Ngoba uNkulunkulu mangabe uhamba ngepurpose yakho ngenhliziyo yakhe genuine you move differently. Ngoba wena uhamba ngepurpose yakho ngesiphiwo sakho. Bese you make a mark. Noma abushana nomgwaqo, noma abu nurse, noma abu academia, wherever you are you make a mark. Amaphila zami ngikhuluma ngokuthi wenze imark ngoba mase ufikile wena sekufanele sibone ukuthi izinto ezi-expirayo unani noma onani cha. Ngikhuluma ngokuthi wenze imark ngokuthi uyamisela uya advance. Angithi niyasibona ukuthi isikhathi esiphila kusona sisheshisa kanjani. Unjilo ukhulume lana nge-straight back angithi ukuthi mangabe wenza straight back nani. Sesifaka izinto ke ilayazayo ke manje. Hamba nawe advancer. Now mase kufika kunye nabe bese uyangena. And also social media is a space that is very toxic but mawusebenzisa kahle siyakwazi ukuthi umyalezo siuhambise noma whatever ufuna ukuyikhangisa ukuthi yini. So ke mina ke ngathatha isinqumo sokuthi konje ngubani amandla ami lapha ekhona akephi. So ngiyengithi ke ungashintshi noma ungashintshi ukuthi ubani because of the car you are in. Ayini nangizwa shem. Do not change who you are because of the car you are in. Uma ngabe ushayela noma mangabe uzohamba ake ngilinganise ngokuya phesheya ngoba enegaba. Uma ngabe uzosuka la uyezweni ekufanele weqa umngcele. Usuka la endlini angithi ngemoto bese kibeke airport. Uma ufike airport inyoka zakho zokuthwale bese ungena ebhanoyini angithi thiwa ibhanoyi mhlawumbe uzoconnect eDubai. Uma usufikile eDubai uphinde uconnect kweli local mhlawumbe eliya eAbu Dhabi. Ungene kulona mase usuka lapha eairport bese ungena emotweni ezokufaka ehotela noma kulo accommodation olele kuyona. Do you know ukuthi power yayona yonke le journey is that you are remaining who you are. So uma ngabe usemotweni yokuthi right now ama finances akho ayantengantenga, do not change who you are. Uyabona mangabe ke usasesigabeni sokuthi mhlawumbe usafisa ukuhlangana no soulmate no bay. Jolo pandemic khamba kanjani lapho? Uma ngabe usasesimeni sokuthi ufuna ukuhlangana naye. Ngiyengithi mina marry the character. Because she lacks uma kukhona imali kuvela character. Mhlazana ingekho imali kuvela character. Mhlazana ubay wakho elimele nemoto angena ku wheelchair usumshadile kuvela character. Mhlazane nithola amathenda amabhillion kuvela character. So do not change who you are because of the car you are in. Ipurpose yemoto ngani zakwethu ukuthi kususe ku A ikubeke ku B. amandla akho lapho elele khona alele ekuthenini wena throughout the journey you remain yourself. Ila ngapho nje asingayilahleni ingane zakwethu. Uyabona ngimdabukela umuntu kade sangazi ukuthi uyabona nje uMaZulu lo sazana sahlala nkosami emafleshanyana la edrobheni. I-character or ubudlelwane bethu abukaze bushintshe. Siyakhuphuka siyakhula sibe omama soba u2 but i-character ayikaze zishintshe. Ingaze ke mngeni noma sikawathola amabhillion ama-tender. Mhlawumbe soshintsha nathi sinamabhillion bese singena la fanele kucace ukuthi remain who you are. And wherever that you are, be a teachable soul, be a teachable spirit. Kuhlungu umuntu shilex othi cha kuyasha la musa ukuya abese yaya. Bese kuhlunga amazwi athi sakutshela noma ngakutshela. Kufanele uvule umqondo wakho uma umuntu umukele ulwazi ukuze uzoba umuntu ongcono. So uvala just because when ayivele kade ufuna yabo imoto noma kade ufuna ini wena usu right awusalele lutho umhlabeni kuyimpilo impilo asiyazi into eguaranteed ukuthi manje ngimela ngibona nini ikusasa is not guaranteed. Wesike uma ngabe unabantu abakuthandayo eceleni kwakho ngelinye ilanga bayahamba labo bantu. So kunesisho ngesithandayo ukuthi i-guilt is greater than gratitude. Iba nomusa, be kind ukuseduze kwakho. Ngesiyekeni lento especially abantu abasha abantu besifazane khulumana kabi noma senzeni kufanele ukhuleke uNkulunkulu angene kuwe ngoba uNkulunkulu uthando. So ingane zakwethu, I don't know what you are going through. I don't know what are your wishes. I don't know what are your dreams. But engakusho mina okungisizile 4 years ago ngakhetha ukuthi yazi ukuthini into ezobalula nezongisiza ukuthi I let God be empilweni yami. Ngoba siyathanda ukuthi izinto siyiphathele sifuna ukuyigijimisa nani kanti uNkulunkulu kuphela umhlengi wethu. uNkulunkulu kuphela umehluleli wethu. So as umuntu omusha namaphupho akho nala ukhona consistency is very important. Ube consistent and drive ekuthiwa ne-gravity kuyasondela uzokuzuza. Ikhona ke le trend ebhlungu esifikile kulesikhathi samanje Shilex ukuthi sifuna imali esheshayo. Udayise ngesoul yakho because ufuna imali esheshayo. So imali esheshayo of course ayinakho ukuthula ngithi. And imali esheshayo iyancikisela ngithi. Asisebenzeni ingane zakwethu kulungile. Uqala ibhizinisi liphinde licollapse uphinde uqale futhi bese uxoxa umnandi. Yazi imnandi into enomlando noma usathandweni noma umngane noma ibhizinisi. Imnandi into enomlando ukuthi hey 20 years ago ubuka skephi. I-victory ucelebrate ukuthi wena wa investa kulokho. Ngoba yonke into ekhazimulayo emhlabeni, you know there's something that is very very weird ingane zakwethu noma very strange or very funny. Akusikhona eshingizama ukubalekela isingisi but it is not the way it seems it is. Can you imagine mangase nje uNkulunkulu decide nje angithi njoba la eThekwini sibhekene nomshophi wama flats. Uma ngase uNkulunkulu ngelilanga decide nje ukuhlephula ama roof emizi yethu uyotholana. uNkulunkulu akunikeza ithuba nje ukuthi awukume nje phezukomlazi bese ubona emizini yabantu. Ngo12 ebusuku iroof yonke ngiyayisusa. Uyobonani? So not everything that glitters is gold. And ugadi sisekelo noma yini oyiqalayo noma yini oyithandayo noma yini obona ukuthi you are investing your energy in it. Uyibheke ukuthi is it idwala noma is it ashes. Kufanele sibe yiloso sizwe sikwazi ukuthi sakhe sisekelene esiqinile. Ngoba mawakhe kuma ashes kuyoshabalala. Mawakhe kuma ashes nathi besicabanga ukuthi hawu Ngoba mfethu umnge wena ebhalitho nje yabo bese ngasakwazi ngisho ukubingelela mngeni namamezarati. Hawu manje ithini into? So asibeni nesineke nathi. Iba nesineke nawe. Uyinikeza isineke ungayishayi kakhulu vele impilo ihamba kanjalo. Imali yaba khona iphinde ingabikho, uphinde ujabule, uphinde ube njani. Yazi ukuthi kade ngisho ukuthi ama blessings ethu are equal our challenges. uNkulunkulu ngibusisile ngegig enkulu ngithokoze kakhulu uthi ha nento kade ngiyifuna sengizoyithola manje yabo guys nikele ibone yabo lele email ethi please find proof of payment noma please send banking details yabona inokukitaza okuthiza ucabanga nakanconyana ukuthi yeah ithi payment ne but ngithenga kulowo mzuzu kwakhona ezinye futhi ezingishayayo ezongihlukumeza kakhulu indaba. So impilo isebenza kanjalo vele ingane zakwethu. Uthi useyisebenzelile into wayithola bese kube khona futhi okunye. So impilo ngicela siyincengeni bese uba nesineke ukuthi it's okay. Iphase mayisikufikele empilo ithathe njobe injalo embrace it kahle. Ngoba futhi kuyingozi nokuthi ugijime ngesikhathi wopha. Igazi lakho liyochaphazela nabantu angafanele libachaphazele ngoba usuke wagijima wopha. Wangayinikeza wena isikhathi sokuthi cha iphase isifikile yokuthi impilo isifikile ke manje. Take a step back bese you relax. So ungamhleki umngema yephansi ngoba ikhona lakhe lomkhuleka ulazi. uNkulunkulu khona into eyisimanga ke futhi uma ngabe ube sesimeni ngiyenze example ngithi mangabe kundlaliwe itafule lomshado noma lemcimbi yabo mangidlalwa amatafula amhlophe indwangu ezimhlophe unenhlanhla wena ongakazi uthola ichaphazi la beetroot noma la curry ngoba no matter what unfortunately society njalo so yabo nje bese hlala kobhalisa mfethu la imlazi wehlala lemgaqweni njoba umbona nje hawu babe bemdlwengula what njoba umbona nje lenhlanhla wena onganalo lo chaphazi. So ngiyayicela ngane zakwethu ukuthi umhlaba uyadungazela ungakhali kakhulu vele kubheda phezulu vele kubheda emuva mbiza umdali wakho ukhulume naye futhi lento ngiya appreciate Nkosi yami nami ngikholwa ngiya appreciate abantu abahamba enkonzweni baze bandize baye bawela imncele baye kophesheya bayofuna lo mthandazo nanani but igrace kuwe lelo khona nje ukulona mbiza ngene kuwe bese yakulekelela ayikho into odlula leyo yazi ukuthi ngisho ngithi mina Shilex into yenza ukuthi abantu abakhulume ingoba ngisebenzisa lutho bayaqala nje ukumbona ophole kanjena nje onyathelelayo nje kancane angitadazeli ingoba ngakufunda ukuthi uNkulunkulu uma engakimi akokho engiyohluleka kukho. Akho magic ingane zakwethu ningalalela abantu ningezwe abantu. Gracefully take each step ngoba nayi lift kwesinye isikhathi uma ufuna ukushesha ukupress uthi uye 7th floor iyahlupha. Take your steps gracefully so. Uyobona ngiyathokoza kakhulu ukungilalela. Ngiyabonga.
Okay. Sibonge kakhulu kunonka. All right, ngicela bandla uyaphuthuma she's on set. I just asked her if she can take 3 questions. 3 ukuze nami ngikhuleke ngaphakathi ukuthi nginezile ithuba lokuthi nibuze. So quickly just 3 questions. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, it's done. Ngicela ungidlulisela you're going to take 4? Yeah. Okay, so that's 4. It's all on this side. Ngicela mic bandla please. 1 2 3 4 bonke bangala kule side. Thank you.
Sanbonani.
Yebo.
Igama lami uLungile Mhlongo from Dalo Naturals.
Yeah.
It's Ndalo Healing. Thank you. I've just started my business, and as I was doing e-business plan, you came up as one of my potential competitors.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a good thing. Don't worry.
No, it's a good thing, I know.
What was the challenge that, okay, the field that engifuna ukungena it's a lot to do with the healing, and as abantu we're moving towards that is self-introspection, self-love. What was the biggest challenge? Okay, you might not have ngenxa ye status. Sorry. No, I mean in a sense, ukuthi, was it a struggle to introduce your products to people in a sense of, because I saw my products have essential oils as well. So how did you introduce the brand? How did you introduce the benefits of your business to people?
Thank you. Ngikhumbuza sibongo umhlongo. Listen, ake ngiqale ngilungise la, anginaso mina status. And uma ngabe uqala ibhizinisi nanoma yini oyenzayo emhlabeni kuba khona into zakhona vele eziba yingqinamba ekufanele uzeqe. So okokuqala inhloso yami yokuqala uLaxhonco Naturals ngayiqala sakudlala because ingifice at my lowest point lapho ngiqala khona impilo, and ku lowest nje ukuyabona kungcono Jacinta mangabe usebenzile ulindele invoice yabo wazi ukuthi at least ngomhla kabani uyabo uzwenza ithethi. So ingithole kuleso sigaba sokuthi sekufanele manje ngibone ukuthi uqala phansi ke manje ngikhuphuka mase ngakha leli igama kwangampela kuthi uLaxhonco ngoba nayo ibrand laXhonco kade yaphekwa. So ngenze njani ke? So inyanga yakhona kwaku January ngathi ngikhathele ukuthi mangithenga iwater based lotion kufanele ngithayisela amafutha the 5 secret oils. So ngikhathele awuthi ngiyithengele mina amanangu amabhatha ngiyimixele ngiyiphekele ngibona ukuthi kamba kanjani ngaphekela ngebhodle elincane nani hayi ngaqala ngayisebenzisa lento ngo April. Ngiyayithanda ukwalalela ama instincts ngoba ama instincts ayingelo siyakhe umlondolozi. Ama instincts athathi mayethi go you need to go, mayethi wo you need to wo, no matter what's happening around you. So ngicabanga ukuthi kwafika leso sikhathi sokuthi ngithi actually isikhumba sami masuwulozolo kanjena ngento engikhande nje la kulomjo. Hayi man, ithi ngiyithathe this thing ngiyise kubantu besifazane. Ithanga libe bushelelezi abantu besifazane. Hallelujah. Alibe bushelelezi ithanga. So ngase ngithatha ngase ngibuka futhi ukuthi kwawona lama products asemashalofini ikhona lento emisayo man njalo leyo fanele uthayisele. So ngase ngiyithatha njenge product ukuthi lolulo zolo nothando nesineke enginalo ngesikhathi ngiyenza because ngizenzela mina ake ngiyise kubantu besifazane. So angazange ukuthi izofika la ifike khona manje kwakuukuthi nje abaseduze kwami yabo awuthathe test alright ithi ngiyilonje let me make it a business. But uma sengiyiqala ngase ngibona ukuthi i long term legacy yengane yami ngeni ilanga izoba no 10 years celebrate 10 years ukuthi yaqala la yathini. So baby steps yabo akuyona into engangenzela imali manje. So I challenge kuba ukuthi ama butters ami ngwalanda eGhana amanye eZimbabwe. So kwafika o lockdown no bani angwazanga, and also ube sesimeni sokustock yabo because manje i-chain kufanele i-packaging i-branding iwona ama ingredients nana nothothi kwesinye isikhathi ibhathi inyuke kakhulu njani, so wena ukwazi ukunyuka njenge price. So kuwona wonke ama challenges engibe nawo in terms of ama pricing ukuthi ibhathi yabiza, so le product izo compete no in le body shop uyabo ekade ikhona lapho kunzima ukuthi angazi weyinganza kwethu ake sixhasaneni ngempela ngoba lento ukuthi ama Lays nama Simba chips mangabe kuphilo ama Simba chips uyoposta ku WhatsApp ke ngazuthi angazi bakune ama million, kodwa mina mangiza ngithi nakho ngiyadayisa ngo 208 u85 rand uya towards school fees sengane yami. Kune purpose kulento engiyenzayo wena uzobenefita even more kunengizokuzuza mina. So kunzima ukuthi uthi ngingane yala eThekwini noma ngiyiproduct yala eThekwini bese uintroduce into, but one step at a time. kuzolunga. We understand angeke vele ithi business yakhe iqele ucompete nabantu abano 50 years in the space or emashalofini or njani. So I challenge kuba ileyo, but it shouldn't be an obstacle yolozameli kancane. So I think more than anything a positive mindset in a business.
One, two. Angibingelele nje abaphambili osisi. Ngibingelele ihlalo zonke, all protocol observe. Angazisho nje igama lami ngenxa yeinto ezithize. Isibongo engamkhiza umntwana uNkulunkulu osindisiwe.
Hallelujah.
Angiqale nje siswami ngikubongela ukuthi uNkulunkulu ukubekile kulesigaba okusona namhlanje. Bengicela nje ukubuza izinto ezo3 ukuthi wenze kanjani ukuba yilomuntu oyena namhlanje, because nami one day ngiyathanda ukuba ibillionaire. Ilokho nje ngifuna ukusho ukuthi iziphi izinto ezo3 ozenzile, iziphi ngathini kulesigaba okusona ngathi iziphi izinto odlule kuzo, yes.
Okay.
Noma ngithi sicela ngathini usinike izinto mhlambe ezoba u3 esizokwazi ngathini oqhuqhuzeleka kuzona until siphumelele kulezinto esifunayo. Ngiyabonga.
Khabazela siyabonga. Okay, ngicabanga ukuthi njoba kade ngikhuluma ngiwasherila ama pillars ama3. Ukuthi okokuqala ngikhulekela igrace each and every day. Igrace yakhe is sufficient for each day. So igrace maune grace noma uyikhulekela igrace yakho ibank account le ikhula yegrace. Nanoma yini uNkulunkulu kuyayihambela nje. So ama pillars ami igrace. Number 2, ukuba real within self. And then number 3, it's to make a mark. Do you understand? So ipila yokuqala fanele kube igrace. Ngoba igrace ibreak ama protocols. So and it doesn't even have to be 3. One thing nje that I decided ngakhumbula ukuthi konje power yami kephi. Ipower yami ukuzazi ukuthi ngubani. Okay, this is my DNA because isikhathi esiphila kusona, it is so unfortunate ukuthi izinto ezine expiry date siyazithatha attach to our DNA. Izinto singazalwanga nazo. So uyafika title ngumaka sakhumuzi mangena fanele kube umaka sakhumuzi. Ngelinye ilanga God forbid mnge uNkulunkulu amkhumbule angeke ngibe umother. Nyoba unonkanyiso ngiyoma ngibe unonkanyiso. Ngisi oil la Chonco Naturals ne la Chonco Apparel mangase kushabalele lokho I remain unonkanyiso. So power is to remain who you are and don't get lezinto ezine expiry date to be your DNA. So it's basically grace, my answer.
Sanibona nami ngicela
Sisi.
yebo ngicela ukubonga ithuba sibonge kakhulukazi uMasipala weTheku ngokusenzela such an event. It's just prestigious and siyayidinga izinto enjena ukusikhuthaza siyintsha. Mina owami umbuzo uleli ekutheni angazi noma ngabeka as umbuzo, but it's the main concerns of, because I'm a business ahlukile. There are 2 types of businesses. It's actually where you are the service and where you sell products.
Okay.
And with me now, I don't know if I should say unfortunately or fortunately, I'm the service. I own a soccer club and I have an NPO based in sports development.
Okay.
But the one major disadvantage that I'm always faced with, I'm black, I'm a young woman in the sports sector. And it's very difficult to get funds, to get sponsors and people to put you out there, because as abantu besifazane, I think one of major challenges is that men do not take us seriously.
Yeah.
And ibhlungu leyo nto because you always end up having to associate yourself with something we called brand association.
Yeah.
Ukuthi wena ihambisana kanjani nawe and your aims bona banendaba nalokho. And then the difficulty of getting sponsorship.
Yeah.
Ave inkinga leyo nto. How do we do that, and what are amanye platforms that would just assist women in whatever form of business?
Right.
Because kiyaba khona ama-seminars anje, ama-fairs anjena, but ama-follow-ups ayenzeka yini ukuthi how far are you? Kwenzakalani, the assistance, the information that you got, kwenzakalani in your business, because people are always eager to start.
Yeah.
But kuphelelepi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mama Wabafana. I believe it's a club yakabafana, yeah? Let me start here. Consistency is very important. Umune passion yento yenzayo. I-consistency kulungile. Kukhona abantu abathi hey uyabona nje njengoba ngaqala la ngino 10 years ngithunga izingubo. But mhlambe ingubo yami iyagqokwa ubani. Then my business started to boom. So engakunikeza kona ukuthi hamba nakho ekhaya. You must be consistent and you must have passion. Is-sponsorship ne-funding of that business kufanele uyicele uNkulunkulu. Ngoba i-bank account yakhe doesn't run dry. I-problem yethu sisuke sibuka abantu abaseceleni sithemba ukuthi hayi yazi ngoba lo wadedela imiliyoni kulo nami mhlambe angase kanti mhlambe uNkulunkulu akambekanga ukuthi uzorelezela wena i-funding. So uma ungaqala lapho ekhoneni lakho ubike kuye uNkulunkulu first ukuthi ke uNkulunkulu wami lalela na i-funding ayishaphazisha ngoba khona futhi enye mistake esiyenzayo uyaba nepassion ukukholela kubusiness but bese ifaith yakho ngaphakathi kuNkulunkulu ukuthi akawenze lo msebenzi bese iyantongazela uNkulunkulu uma umdoubt ke naye uyakhombisa ukuthi uyamdoubt. So kufanele wenze njalo patience singisi niyabona ukuthi indaba singasifuni i-patience ne-consistency. Yeah, and also i-assignment makwe yakho i-assignment fanele uqonde nayo ibhizinisi mangabe kuyelakho lento yokushesha uphuthume yazi ukuthi khona enye into abayenzayo just since abantu abakwi-industry mke uyafika ishow yokuqala sengihlangana nawe because ishow yokuqala iba yi-success sengihlangana nawe ngikubuza umbuzo engicabanga ukuthi nginayo usizo kona usungitshela ngo my team no my team will sort me out. Uyafika nje you need to work for your team. Kunesikhathi esithize sibekelwe noma kunemingcele ofanele uyeqe ukuze uzofika ukuthi ukhuluma uthi hayi no my team. So zibambele iqine consistency and patience.
Sacela ukutshetsha isikhathi sakho just for a second because you're talking about a field that I'm in and I understand very well, which is football and sponsorship as well. As you heard, Hollywood Bets, I do partner with them with some of the initiatives that I do. My biggest problem that when it comes to Abantu Besifazane, my biggest problem when it comes to, this is personal, is that there's this tendency, yokuthi, when you're doing something, you see me as your competitor. You don't see me as someone that you need to come to and ask for advice and ask for tips from. And that's the biggest downfall of a lot of people. Uzothola wena le team yakho onayo right now, and you think you've already made it with team. But there's other people who have been ahead of you for the longest time that you can get as much knowledge from as possible. It takes me back to something Zibu. Some might know Zibu. She always says, Guti, if it means go and bamba iskwa masa Oprah Winfrey. Ungasabi ukuzehlisa to that level. Some of you, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying some people who are in business or who are in service of some sort, nipageme. And ukupagama kwenu is ripping you of an opportunity to learn.
Thank you, thank you.
Sanibonani.
Njani bhuti?
Yebo ngiyaphila. Ngiyajabula ukuthola ithuba kuNkosinathi ungakadlali isibongo. Ngibingelela bonke abasendlini, ngibingelela usisi kakhulukazi nabahlezi lapha phambili. Umbuzo ebengizowubuza Unfortunately, I got the answer. Angisadinga ukubuza. Engizokusho nje kakhulu ukuthi nginebhizinisi engiyivulile noma ngingakabi nezinto eziningi eziqhubekayo kodwa amaningi amaletho sengiwatholile ama-answers ebengifuna ukuthi ngiwathole. Bengiphakamise ngoba ngifuna ukubuza ngabo. So bese ngibonga usisi ngokuthi nje abe khona akhulume lento ayikhulumile. Kumina mhlawumbe nabanye izinto eziningi ayishilo lapha yana zakhe ingaphakathi lami kangangokuthi mangifika la engiyakhona khona ekuthizo okusha engizobe
Glory to Jesus.
Sibonga kakhulu kuba nabantu abafana nani ukuthi ngahlala njalo nisivakashela ukuthi lenze izinto ezifana nalezi ziyasikhuthaza. So ibhizinisi engilivulayo lithe ukuthi uqina kodwa ke ngisazama angakahle.
Qiniswa yini business?
Shuthi ibhizinisi engizama ukulenza ele petroleum shuthi ngenza izinto lezi za petroleum.
Okay.
Yeah, so manje kusekhona la kusenovimbeka khona izinto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ngiyabonga.
Engathi balungana no funding.
Yeah, very tough.
But ke zonke izinto zakhona sengizenzile ngoba even the license and everything I got. So ngisalinda indaba zezinto zo funding. Nanokuthi ke ayikho indlela ukuthi ngiliqale from the base ngiqalele mina myself.
No. Ayikho.
Yeah, but kodwa ukuthi ungaphumi ekubeni wena. Be true to yourself if wenza into.
Yeah.
So yonke into bambelele.
Yeah.
Yeah, hayi ngiyabonga.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu bhuti wami. Kunjalo. Ngicela ukueda nje lapho la ukuthena uqina ngiyahosha ngomoya ukuthi ukholo lakho ngathi lidensekile limabokoboko ngenxa yezimo zempilo. But kukhona omunye umngane wami engengakhuluma naye ngathi yazi ukuthi njoba sila emhlabeni uNkulunkulu njobe sibekele la emhlabeni. Vele we are within the kingdom of God. The only thing efanele sifunde thina through our grace and through our faith is ukuvula nje ifridge lobukhosi bakaNkulunkulu. Ayinengane mangabizelwe ekhaya mangabikhula into yokuqala ifundayo ukuvula amakhabethe namafridge. Nothi ke mangabe omunye umngane namabhentli nemizi nani ngiyawacela nami gracefully so asifunde nje ukuvula ifridge yasebukhoneni bakaNkulunkulu. Uzowathola and I bless you. Ukuthi lelo business it is really tough ngoba ukwazi uqala ngesipakpaka esodwa mfethu but uNkulunkulu akubusise uthembele kuyena.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for Unonkanyiso la Chongo. There's one last question. Akasafuna ukuhamba uthe uyashutha kodwa Nkosi yami iCamera iyozikulanda. All right, just one last question please, can you be short?
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Igama lami ngutholakele ngwakamagubane ngihlala kaAsia Mlazi.
Awusuka nini?
Ngisebenzela inkampani njengoba nibona ngifake lesi skipa. Ngibe brand ambassador yaku Imeri, inkampani esuka eChina but isase Nigeria manje. Ngiphinde ngisebenzele i-charity yakaAsia egqoka ikipa ezihlaza namakhepu ahlaza. Abaningi baye bangibone every Wednesday ngisuke ngiwalka ngeenyawo ngiya kuyona ngenzela ukuthi babone uze sambe nabo kuleya charity senza imisebenzi ezandla siyacrosha senza ubuhlali siphinde sithandaze ngoba into ebalekile ukuthi ukhuleke. Siphinde sipha abantu amaveji mahala. Ikhansela la kaAsia uMr Cele ngangifakazela kade sikhiphe izipontshi nengubo nama-food parcel sipha abantu endaweni thina siyi-organization yethu NPO. Ngiphinde ngisebenzele enye inkampani ngeke ngikwazi ukumenshina ngisebenzela head office yakhona. Kulowo mzuzu ngiphila nedisability kodwa buka imisebenzi engiyenzayo. Ngiphinde futhi ngingasheshi uyishaya izandla. Ngiphinde futhi ngibe ne production yami TDM production. Mawungena ku YouTube type izigemegeme zabazukulu. That is my own production.
Hayi ususebenzile kodwa singene embuzweni.
Okay.
Yeah. Awuzosebenza.
Bengenzela khona ngithola ama subscribers. Phela fanele ba subscribe ukuze sikwazi ukuhola aba subscribe. Okay ke. Umbuzo wami ke akusiwona umbuzo actually. Bengicela, ngiyanxusa, ngishaya isalute. Ngicela ukuthi njengoba nabantu abakhulu esibazi ukuthi baphezulu, nihambele masingabe sinama events emalokishini. Cause ingane zilahlekelwe yithemba akekho umuntu oyinakile bangabe bebona wena njengosisi nonkulu bazoba nalelo themba ukuthi njengoba ngenza hip hop ngizokwazi nami ukuthi ngifane njengosisi nonkulu asinayo imali yokunikhokhela ngifuna uqamba amanga kodwa mangasi at least noma once nje ilokho mina ngishaya isalute ukuthi sicela nisihambele masinama events emalokishini kuze lezi ingane zambandla zibe nethemba because ave zine talent benginama events awu4 ngihamba ngepublic transport so ngiyacela ngishaya isalute and mangabe kunama events amasipala ngicela nalezi ingane bayiqashe bandla ngiyabonga
hayi mshayeleni izandla uya subscribe uya organization nayo usebenzile lo yamuntu dade ku Instagram ku Facebook ku Twitter banibani into ekwaziyo nje ungena DM uyangena ku DM yami ngihlezi sithola isikhathi ngiyasenza uthumele imessage uma ngabe kusake kwenzeka mhlambe wangithumela ngangayiphendula it's either a manner of approach or akuzange usekuzwane or whatever but ngiyahambela kusiyo yonke into eyimali so njengoba usho nje ukuthi ukubuyisa ithemba nani vele mina kwezinye indawo ngiyaqhamuka ngisuke ngalindele lutho ngoba ngisuke ngiunderstand ukuthi mangithe nje bekezela noma mangithe nje uyabo kuba kuyaqonda noma kuba khona okuba ngcono so ukuthumela nje kahle ngendlela futhi ngoba kwesinye isikhathi awukwazi ukuthi mhlawumbe uthi hi la see such your fan njani please come next week kwasha kwacima uyabona ke so leyo ke so kuba indlela nje mhlawumbe ukubuza ukuthi mangabe ufuna ukuthumela isimemo i-invite yenze njani uyicelela ama subscribers animzameni lapho.
Okay, I put on my radio voice a few minutes ago. Can I put on my radio voice now? So right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Nonkanyiso la Kongo. And now we're getting into our last panel discussion for today. A lot of you have also been waiting for this because most of what we have been talking about has been business related in terms of providing products and in terms of sports. Right now we're getting into the business of personal development and personal service. That's why we've got two young women here who are going to be joining me now on stage. And they're going to be looking at passion, purpose, inspiration, brand building, and career positioning. I'm going to welcome the first one. She is an actress, radio presenter for Kakasi FM, as well as a PR specialist, Miss Penny Ntuli.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so then I'm going to welcome our second panelist. She is an actress, singer, and arts academy owner of Academy Akona Ikabawo Project, Miss Thandeka Zulu. Ngicela simshayele izandla.
One, two.
All right, so once again for our panelists. Now, a conversation here is going to shift a little bit from being about the business and being earlier on in terms of products. We're now looking at two young women who are in the space of the media, and both of them have gone out and grabbed opportunities that have been presented or that they broke down certain boundaries and created for themselves. So we're looking at passion, purpose, and inspiration. Very interesting topic. I hope you both are ready. Kaleni's
Very.
introducing Kala. So I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, Penny, in your own words. Ukuthi, who are you? Who is Penny? And Mazulu, can you also just do the same for me, please?
Okay, sure. I start, ne? Can I stand up? Yes, because I'm very uncomfortable when I'm sitting down. My name is Penny Ntuli. I'm from Gaga CFM. I do a show there every Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4. Igama le show kuthiwa iZiyakhala. There's a reason behind that, you know, there's a whole lot of drama. I love drama. But besides that, before I introduce myself, one thing about me growing up, I was very shy. Well, I'm still growing up and I'm still very shy. Ngiyakusaba ukuma phambi kwabantu. Nginovalo. I'm telling you. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's why I'm walking around. Because if I sit in one place, I'll start shaking. So yikho ngithi yazini awuthi ngisukume ukuze ngizokwazi ukuthi move around. You won't see ukuthi I'm shaking. See? I'm very scared of being in front of people, but here I am. Otherwise, my name is Penny Ntuli. Ngikhulele? No. Ngizalwe eMlazi, lapha eMshiyeni. That's where we all are given birth to, I guess. Musemlazi. Ngakhulela ka age, a very dangerous section, but I survived. I also grew up at Adamsi. I'm 25 years old. I just turned 25. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to say about myself, but one thing about me, I'm on radio. Ngikhula mengazi ukuthi ngifisa ukwenzani. I think mufika ka grade 9 khona le stage lesi mufika ka grade 10 sefana ukhetha ukuthi are you studying science, are you studying business? As for me ngangifunda Adams College and lapha yami kuyisikole engizothi asihloniphe abafundi who are very academically gifted. Muhlakaniphile lapha, you're very respected. But as for me, umuntu omefuna ungena ka arts, that school was not for me. So I kind of somehow felt very stupid, very not clever. I didn't feel enough, you know, because I did not know what I wanted to do. Hey, but at the same time, I'm very scared. I love listening to radio. Abo Linda Sbi, abo Felix Lope, you know, but then I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it's something you can get paid for. I didn't know it can be something ongayenza umsebenzi. So in that journey, ngangena science, big mistake. Fast forward, then I finished school. Gahlala 3 years ekhaya. But in 2015, I'm very young. 2015 ngahlala 3 years ekhaya. Kulo 3 years abantu ade ngifunda nabo bafunda graduate abafaka amajazi ngihlele ekhaya. Ngihlalele ekhaya angizazi ukuthi ngifuna ukwenzani. But here's the thing, it was not a matter of angizazi ukuthi ngifuna ukwenzani, it was a matter of mingakafiki umuntu kumina ozothi Penny khona into ekanje ongayenza. You know, there's so many kids who are not clever go physics no science, but mnika umsebenzi wezandla, mnika umsebenzi wokukhuluma, and then that's where you're going to see ukuthi this is what they can do. So that was the case with me. So 3 years ngiyahlala, then 2018 I took an initiative ukuthi listen, I'm good in speaking, what can I do about it? So I tried radio. It was not my dream. I didn't want to be on radio. I didn't know it was a thing. But 2018, I decided, let me go to eLetswalo ngiyofundi radio because angazi lutho. Let me educate myself. So I did that 3 months. Ngangenela ama auditions. I'm not going to be long, you guys. Senginika phezulu. Ngangenela ama auditions. Umuntu wangena ke ko radio DUT. Usakazela khona i-radio DUT. Not ukuthi uzokala kwi-frequency thizeni. Then I moved to Vibe FM, then I moved to in Durban Youth Radio, then I moved to Inanda FM, who are all broadcasting here. But when I started radio, I think one person when it comes to radio who really made it happen for me, it was that one person who wafigang mina wangenzela into ibe clear, into efane ngiyenze. Khona umuntu ekuthiwa uFelix Hlophe. I know you know him. Every time he starts saying something, uthi sanibonani uHlophe lo. Yes, him. UFelix Hlophe ngaya kwi-event ngoba ngizwe kuthiwa ukhona. Why? Ngangifisa ukukhuluma naye ngimuzwe njengomuntu osakazayo ukuthi yena uthini. Sometimes ngisho wazi ukuthi ungathini, but ukufisa ukuthi ngathi uSis Jacinta njengomuntu onolwazi kudlula wena akwazisa ukuthi yena ucabangani. You know, sometimes we want abantu abakwi level ephezulu nathi ukuthi bathi give us time, basitshela ukuthi what should we do from here, and that's something we don't get a lot. That day ngahamba ngaya kwi-march ngingaqondile. I spent over 8 hours kumashwa kwi-march HIV and AIDS. La sengigive up khona ukuthi ngeke ngimthole uBut Felix cause ubusy MC. Next thing, he was in front of me and I couldn't see. I was tired. I was hungry. I wanted to go home. But then I went up to him. And when I went up to him, ngafika kanje, sabona But Felix igama lami nguPenny manje I've been studying ade ngenze radio ngafunda. He's like, "Hey Penny. Into eyangithusa was that umuntu ophezulu kangaka unginika isikhathi sakhe. One, umuntu ophezulu kangaka ungibiza ngegama. Umuntu ophezulu kangaka unginika that attention. Shuthi, I actually matter. That to me actually stayed with me. And he's like, calm down. Talk to me. It was that moment when I realized ukuthi sometimes you just need one person omthembile to give you that attention. Akunake, akulalele. Ukuthi ufisa ukwenzani into mhlambe engizothi angiyitholanga ekhaya because mesikhuluma ngeindaba zakule industry lesikuyona ekhaya banasikhathi seindustry. Bathi awuna salary lapho imali uzoyithola muphantile. It's not a 9-to-5 job, so they didn't take it seriously. I needed outside validation, and uBut Felix gave that to me. And when I came to him, he told me, ukuthi, listen Penny, you tell me what do you want to do. Ngangifuna ukuya kuyena angitshela ukuthi ngenzeni. Wayishintsha wathi wena tshela mina ukuthi ufuna ukwenzani. That was when I realized ukuthi no. Ngifuna ukusakaza. Ngenze njani. He's like, begezela, if you love it, it will happen for you. Isiphi stage ufuna ukusebenzela. When he asked me that question ukuthi which radio station do I want to work for, I said Gaga CFM. Not because he was in front of me, but because I actually love Gaga. I've been listening to it for the longest of time, you know. So after that, he's like, begezela, those were the words, man. And I think this man till today, because when I finally got onto Igagasi, that man was the first person to welcome me. I think if it is saskwama steps, la kulonjwa khona Igagasi ukuthi sibona abasakazi abasha bazongena. Ngathi ngimengehla yena enyuka wathi Penny, you finally made it. You're here. Ukwazile ukuthi ubekezele. Ngakutshela ukuthi uma ubekezela kuzokwenzeka. So I think that would be a story about me and how I got onto Igagas. I'm trying to wrap it up, but that's just me in short. I'm trying to touch on passion and how I grew up into becoming who I am. Thank you.
Sanibonani. Now never sungahlala kodwa.
Hayi no mina ngiyakuthanda ke nje ukuma uyazi nje. Sanibona. Ninjani? Ma ngiyasenikhathele. Nxeseni kade nilalele izikhulumi la nincela ulwazi. Sixolise kakhulu ukuthi nje sekudonse kangaka le session. Igama lami nginguthandeka. Ntokazi yakwaZulu umntwana uMageba isithula isikandaba uZulu kamlandela ngilanda inkomo zamadoda uZulu umnyamdlalo zomhlophe. Abangaziyo bathi mina ngumthwazi unothisha ubhanyabhanya ngamehlo bemanzethe basi inhlelo entokazi idlula zonke intombi zasotho ngathi. Sawubona we Jacinta. Beautiful, intelligent young woman. Siyabonga. Kuningi engifisa ukukushare nani namhlanje, but obviously because it's an introduction, ngizonikeza opportunity ukuthi ningibuze imibuzo. Ngazalelwa endaweni yasehamba nathi, elokishini nje elincane endaweni yasothongathi. ngafunda embonisweni nasenkosibomvu. Ngicabanga ukuthi uthando lokuba umlingisi nokuba umculi laqala ukuvela noma ukubonakala at the age of 9, because there's a group called Ilindo Kuhle performing group yasothongati that I joined at the age of 9. Ngaqhubeka sidansa mekunemicimbi emalokishini kunezinto emagroundini, niyazi nje emalokishini mangabe kuhlezi kunesiphithiphithi siyadansa oSarafina zonke lezo zinto. So from lapho sidlulele high school, uyithintile upheni le grade 10, kuyisikhathi sokuthi ke manje sefanele ukudecide ukuthi which subjects ofisa ukwenza. I wanted to do drama, but then esikoleni bangiqabela bathi awukwazi nje uhlanipheka ngako ukuthi ungenza idrama. Ngoba idrama ibukeleka phansi and kwanziwa ukuthi uma uyisiqenqa fanele wenze physical science ne-maths. And I did exactly that. Ngaphasa, ngaphumelela kwa right. But endleleni yami, because I knew ukuthi one day I want to be an artist. I want to be a professional actor. I want to be a singer. Kanjani ngisothongati? Elokishini elincane kangaka emobeni elideleleke kangaka. Kanjani nginomama osebenza emafemini ubaba nginganaye? Ngingena kanjani kulela bhokisi leli elincane ngibe umlingisi? I started researching about the industry engangifuna ukuba kuyona. Sometimes I will ask umama kunama shows e-Stable Theatre, I remember a playhouse, gibela isitimela ngiyobuka ishow, because ngangifuna uku-understand ukuthi e-theatre kwenziwani. Mangabe uyi-performer kusho ukuthini. I started reading books about ama-actors. There's a book engangifunda ethi An Actor Prepares. I started researching nje about the industry. Mengabe kunezinto eThekwini ngibamba isitimela, ngangisithanda isitimela ngoba sasi-affordable at that time. Ngibamba isitimela ngize edrobheni ngi-attend. Ngifisa ukuthi ngabe ngcothwana nami ngingane yakwaMashu. Ilokishi eli-vibrant, yabo, elinama-opportunities, elinezinto, elinosaziwayo. Because ngasekhaya nobody understood ukuthi uzoba kanjani usaziwayo, uzoba ku-TV wena, wasehamba nathi, ngamuphi umlingo. Ngaqeda umatric and then nga-attenda i-academy yababa uMbongeni Ngema, ngenza i-training, and then I started going for ama-auditions ayekhona. I did Sarafina ngo-2010. I started ukuthora umhlaba wonke at the age of 18, fresh from high school. Ngawazi ukuthi ngibuyele ekhaya ngisize uma, because iyona into eyayisenhlizweni yami leyo ukuthi ngelinye ilanga ngifisa ukusebenzisa i-craft yami ukushintsha isimo sasekhaya. Ngifisa ukusebenzisa lokhu uNkulunkulu anginikeze khona ukuthi one day ekhaya kungabe one room, ngingaze ngishone kusawu one room. Ngaqhubeka eminyakeni ithe ihamba, I met 2 gentlemen, Sergeant Malisha as well as uSabelo Ngema, abayibiza nge-Afro Soul. I joined the group, saba i-trio, saqhubeka sazama. And then we had this vision yokuthi one day siyafisa ukuthi kube khona ama-Afro Soul azozalwa emalokishini nasemakhaya. Siyafisa ukuthi kube khona onombuso, but how do we do it? Because at DUT sometimes mangabe ungakwazi ukukhokhela ama-funds akhona, uyahlala nethalente lakho ungenzi lutho. We had this idea of opening i-academy, Performing Arts Academy. Sayibiza ngokuthi iKabawo Performing Arts Academy. Si-train abantwana ku-music, i-dance, i-acting, as well as i-arts business. Yilokho esikwenzayo. I-academy yethu mangiyibheka ngokwebhizinisi iyi-bridge between umuntu omnyama ongakwazi ukuya e-university kodwa onethalente nomuntu omnyama ongakwazi uku-afforda ukuya e-UKZN ayokwenza idrama. Because nanoma umuphi umuntu okhona okuliphi i-level uyakwazi ukuthi mayenethalente angene e-academy yethu simtrain. I-academy masiqala, it was 2015 after shooting uZalo. Mangiqeda ukushootha uZalo, i-contract yami yanga-renewer for the second season. And then ngaqhubeka ngafocusa ku music. So masiqale academy siyazibuza sithi sizoyiqala kanjani academy because ama funds asinawo. But that I know uNkulunkulu will provide. Lenta de show la tonto. We started going around. I remember siya sontweni la baba uDube simbuza ukuthi akanaso any spaces extra ngasimpintshisa kusona senze class lo music ne dance. Sangasithola space. Sahamba nje eThekwini sihambe sibheka nje indawo. We went to a stable theater kwakusavaliwe at that time. And then sahamba saya DMS Durban Music School. Sabachazela idea ne vision yethu ukuthi sifisa ukwenza into kanje. Ukim was welcomer with warm hands. That's when we started our Performing Arts Academy. It's been 8 years now. Sineyingane ezu 35 each and every year. We produce one of the best artists, one of the best talent ekhona eMzansi Africa. Undoni from Idols is one of our former students. It's been 8 years now without funding, but the nice thing about it, we are making a mark. Kulo 8 years, the profile of the company is growing. The uniqueness in the methodology that we use academy yethu ikwenza ukuthi umntwana mayiphuma akwazi ukuthi athola ama opportunities kwama productions. Currently bescasta for Sarafina, one of the biggest musicals in the world. Sa appointwa ezikaba ukuthi scaste for Sarafina. Ngiyazibuza ukuthi siobani thina singafandiwe but siyakwazi ukuthi senze umsebenzi omkhulu kangaka. So ngifisa uku-emphasize the power of a vision, a passion, a career and brand positioning. Ezinye zezinto esizenzayo, we partner and collaborate with ama corporate companies. Hollywood Foundation is one of the companies that we approached. Sabachazele ngevision yethu bayasiza lapha nalapha, but being eceleni kwabo kuyasikhulisa kuyasisabalalisa. So collaborate with other companies or other brands kwenza ukuthi uspread your wings ungabi kuyikhona lakho wedwa. Kune audience yaka Hollywood Foundation ebingazi ngekabawo, but the minute Hollywood Foundation a post ikabawo or ikabawo iba kwi-event ka Hollywood Foundation kunamanye ama clients amasha azalekayo, kunomunye umama noma umzali ozokwazi about ivision yekabawo. Kusasa ama clients ethu ayakhula, kusasa iSouth Africa iba noshintsho olukhulu. Ngicela ukuyibamba lapho for now.
All right. Sibonga kakhulu to these two lovely ladies. Now, I believe Sebe Tintile on passion, purpose, and inspiration. It's now time to get down to the business of who you are and what it is that your brand is all about. Now, when talking about brand building and brand positioning is very important. And I'd like to ask each of you, Gutsi, in terms of your individual brands, how have you built your brand and where are you planning or how have you positioned a brand yako?
Okay, I can take that. Okay.
You should both answer, so ungaqala and then Upenny will take.
All right. I-brand kaMaZulu ngoba ngishilo ukuthi ngingumlingisi, also ngenza i-talent development. So one of izinto ezingisizile to be the person that I am is staying true to myself, nokuba unique. Unique kanjani? Uma ngabe uyi-artist, kunento ethiwa i-image yakho, ne? Which is very important. Le othi mawuvala amehlo ucabanga imafikizolo noma i-afro soul ikufikele engqondweni. Mina as uMaZulu mangabe ungicabanga, I don't think ukuthi khona mhlawumbe umuntu engifana naye. Angazi ngizongitshela menginamanga. So the uniqueness kuMaZulu, the tone of the voice yami uma ngicula, indlela engibukeka ngayo, indlela engigqoka ngayo on stage, indlela engikhuluma ngayo ekaMaZulu yenza ukuthi uMaZulu abe uyena angafani nalutho. Eyenza ukuthi uMaZulu mawumbiza kwi-event ezosebenza a-add i-authenticity kaMaZulu. So for me, ilapho. Yeah.
I think when we speak about brand, especially when it comes to upeni, brand positioning, mingiqala lento yokuthi I wanted to do radio. I didn't have an idea of what a brand is. But ngokhula in the industry, I discovered ukuthi okay. So when you're in the industry, there's a lot of radio presenters. There's also Jacinta, there's Abo Felix, there's Abo Put Alex, you know. But then what am I coming with that's different to you and every other radio presenter I con? So when it came to saying, okay, I'm building my brand, I didn't have an idea, Uti, this is how I'm going to build it, this is how I'm going to be different. I just told myself, Uti Azin, let me be upeni, lo sekai. I think one thing about me, which is something I usually see on social media, one thing about me, engathanda ukuthi ngiyenze, it's to pretend, it is to maintain a lifestyle. Because as soon as you say, as much as I say I'm a brand, but as soon as you say I'm a brand, upeni ntuli. So now I have to walk like I'm paying ntuli. Sekhona into ekumele ngi-maintain. Angisakwazi ukugibela i-8 years because upeni ntuli ne-brand yakhe sibekwe le. So what I was intending with me when being in the industry, I just wanted to bring me. I just wanted to tell people ukuthi mfethu ngiyakwazi mina ukufika emhlanga ngifike ngihlale no who's who ngiphinde ngibuye la ekhaya eMlazi ngithi mfethu ngilambile ngicela sihambe siyespaza sihambe sothenga amagwinya yabo ngikwazi futhi ukuthi ngifike erenki ngihlale no drive uthi ay mfethu kushubile kushoda ihlane emalini yami yokugibela. So that's who I wanted to bring to people, me, not a brand for the people, but I wanted to bring me to the people.
Nice. All right, thank you so much, ladies. Now let's look at your careers. One is an actress and a musician, and also in business. And then there's Penny, who is an actress and on radio. Now, when talking about career and career positioning, both industries are very competitive. Both industries are very, very quick to add and remove a person. Both careers are people-driven. So how do you both position your careers in terms of looking where you are, where you're going, how to sustain yourselves?
All right, I think one of the most important things ugu understand that the product oyiyona wena as an artist or as an actor or as umuntu mhlambe osebenza or on academy. All right, mina i-service yami ukuba umlingisi noma ukuba umculi. So for me ukuthi ngikwazi ukuqashwa noma ngenza imali fanele njalo ngaso sonke isikhathi ngihlezi ngi-relevant ngihambisane nesikhathi. And the versatility awukwazi ukuthi wa record ingoma ngo-2010 ngendlela ethize manje there's indlela umusic orecordwa ngawo omixwa ngayo you are still using the same method owayisebenzisa ngo-2010. Kumele ukwazi ukuthi umove with times so that abantu abazalwa manje abathenga umusic manje bazo-relate nalento mina engishoyo through music, because as artists we are the voices of the voiceless. Nokuthi ubheke around you ukuthi for instance ama-productions manje asekhona amathuba ama-productions la eThekwini as opposed to dala. So as an actor akusekho nzima kakhulu ukuthola umsebenzi, but kuzoba nzima if I don't have an agency engirepresentayo. So in as much as ispace esikusona si competitive, but staying real and true to yourself nokuthi ube versatile ukwazi ukuthi kumsebenzi wenzayo kube nama-dynamics athize ungalokhe wena waba yileyo nto eyodwa. If manje kuthiwa sekuwumusic okanje, not to say kumele uziluze ubuwena, isound ye-Afro-soul will forever be like that, but mhlambe indlela manje sekurekhodwa ngayo music isishintshile, indlela ekumiswa ngayo njalo njalo. So ilokho okungisebenzelayo noma okungisizayo.
Sure. Sister Jacinta, please repeat the question for me.
So in
Here's the
term-
thing, I'm used to asking questions.
No, it's fine.
I'm on
So
the
in
other
terms
end
of-
today.
we're talking career positioning.
Yeah.
Now, the industry that you both are in is very futile.
Very.
It's an industry that doesn't have sustainability. It's
Mhm.
an industry that's ever changing. People are coming in, people are leaving.
Yeah.
And for you as a person in this career, you're not guaranteed of anything. So how do you make sure that in this career path that you're in, you're consistently evolving in a way that grows you as a person, but also keeps you relevant with the moving and changing times?
To keep it short, I feel, Uguti, you need to move with the times, as she said. I feel like I'm kind of repeating what she said. Move with the times. Bheka ukuthi kwenzakalani. Try to get in on that, but at the same time, be yourself in the process of moving with the times. That's all there is to it. And hey, more than anything, I can't emphasize this enough, to be yourself. Yabo, once wazazi ukuthi ubani, ngisho ngafika Nicki Minaj no Beyonce, angeke ukuthi ndiki, because you know who you are. Yeah.
Okay. So the last question from me before I throw it to the floor, the last question to both of you ladies is that fame is not a guarantee of money. We know this because a lot of famous people don't have money. I think the public now realizes that, especially Masesek Tuakshone Usbanbani, and there's a scramble for money. The people that I was talking to are in the business of business, which is just purely business and making money. Now, to balance fame and business and branding, how do you think, or which way do you think is best and works for you to balance the three, to make the most of your brand or your business?
You know, we are in an era where you can't solely depend on one source of income, especially the entertainment industry. Namhlanje ungaba sesethini shooting something kusasa kungaba ukuthi siphelile contract. So for me as uMaZulu ngoba ngishilo, I have a performing arts academy. Ngifundisa abantwana, it's accredited, kuyakhokhwa, ibhizinisi nalo lelo kumina. If I'm not on stage, ngicula, ngibhukiwe, ngisuke ngumlingisi. If unganayo production, as uMaZulu, as a brand, ngiyadayisa amanye ama-products. Because if I go on social media, ngiphethe isinkwa, ngithi lesi sinkwa lesi sizokunikeza umdlandla. Ngoba kusho mina, I have influence, I'm a brand, kuzothembeka. Nalokho ukuthi you must also use the social media to monetize, ukwazi ukuthi uzenzele imali. Besides that, I'm a cook, ngiyapheka, not a professional chef, but ngiyapheka. So uma ngingamile stage ne-mic, ngiyapheka. I do get ama-campaigns okudla because it's the content engiyenzayo effortlessly. Ngiyavuka ekuseni ngenza iparish, I post on social media. Makufika inyala ine-campaign approaches uMaZulu because iyabona ukuthi ku-social media kaMaZulu, uMaZulu uyavuka ekuseni enza iqanda. And then ngiyakwazi ukuthi ngenze imali through my social media, through the influence that I have, through the content that I post on my social media. But besides that, I think nje esikhathini samanje asizivumeli ukuthi ume ngento eyodwa uthi you only have one source of income, especially if udumile noma usaziwayo. The pressure that you get from society, the standards la abantu abakunikeza wona ukuthi now that you are on TV kumele ube nemoto, kumele uhlale emhlanga. It took me 9 years in the industry nganayo imoto. Ngithenga imoto last year by grace of God. Bengihamba nge-Uber from endlini ngiya kuma meetings in town. Bengasuki lutho, bengasuki the power uNkulunkulu ayibeke phezu kwempilo yami. Ibanga ngenzi ngibe less of an artist because I understood dude, currently I have other priorities. And umsebenzi engikuwona, I don't get ama bookings all the time. So I can't afford imoto and I can't afford ukuthenga imoto mesiyadliwa. That I cannot do. So I understand the space engikusona. I'm true to myself and I understand ukuthi angikwazi ukuma nge-source of income eyodwa. Cha, asikuvumi lokho.
To add on what Utandega is saying and to answer umbuzo kaSis Jacinta, indaba in a source of income A1. I think being in the industry, not just being a radio presenter, ngizontshela njengoba ngila ngiye ngasho ukuthi ngisakaza u1 to 4 ekseni. So when we put it on social media, it is very glamorous. Ukuthi hayibo uPenny, she's on igagasi, manje usekamnyandu, ushaye business fair, hayibo ntambama uyagig, usegqoke le weave. It is not easy. We are hustling. So if I'm not on radio, because I can't depend on radio. Radio is not permanent. So if you go umuntu osakaza better than me, bamthathe, or I do one thing wrong, ngidilizwe kanjalo, so I could lose my job any day. There's no contract. I mean, it's not permanent. There's a contract. Now, if I breach it, I lose it. So if it's not radio, I facilitate ama events. Whether ama events obumnandi where kubonakala ukuthi kuyagroove khona odladla mshunqisi kuyamenyezwa kumanzi phansi kuyahlehlisa, I am there. I may not be at my comfortable spot, but I am there to work because I need that money, because ingane yami needs school fees uthi sikhokhele. I need to dress up. Ekhaya kudingakala gross. I need to maintain my life. Mengithi maintain, angisho ukuthi sekumele ngigijime manje ngiyolanda iBM cause upheni ukuyigagasi cha. Mengithi maintain ngisho ukuthi khona izinto kumele ngiyibekele imali, and one source of income cannot cover all of that. So if ngingekho kwama events ngifacilitator, I'm on social media, keeping in touch with people. Ngiyababuza ukuthi hayibo bafethu njani. I'm joking around with people because I'm trying to, secure those people who actually support me. Ukuthi when time goes, bafethu mengithi nginebusiness online, they're going to support, So ngibheka ukuthi okay, on social media la ko Facebook ngathi ngimandla yindaba ngingasebenzisi lamandla enginawo on social media ukuboosta abanye abantu ngibavuse because bazongithemba when I say go to endaweni ethize, just like Utandega said. So there's a lot of things we do, but it's not easy. Today, ngikwi business fair ngiyakhuluma, but I've never slept a wink. Ngiphume ngo-4 emsebenzini, I went straight home. Mekube nehibeke along the way, but then ngafika ekhaya ngabo-6. Mengifika already now, khona ingane. Mele ngifike ngigeze ingane, ngipheke iparish, ngiclean because ingane ngizoyishiya noma. Make sure 7 ngiyageza, udrive uyafika, ngihamba ogqoka ngenza i-makeup, fanele ngifike la ngo-9. And njengoba ngizokhuluma right now, mengisuka la fanele ngiye kwi-event le eSouth Coast eMthwalume. That's another location that I have to go to ngiyosebenza. Take into note ukuthi angikakaze ngilala. Mengiphuma kulo event, I'm coming back to Durban eMhlanga because kwiGagas I cannot afford to be late. So it's the source of income esilwelayo ukuthi ungami ngento eyodwa. But again, I think the downfall of abantu in the industry is that they think we have money. Akho mali. We work for our money. Ngiye ngibona abantu sekuthiwa njengoba Uthandeke actor, why actor kuzalo, why esekwimbewu, why uyazama, because the job is not guaranteed. Mubizwa ngalo uzohamba ngeke ungayithathi igig ngoba usaba ukuthi umuntu usaba ukuthi usengibone kwimbewu futhi sebezocomplain umsebenzi. It's a tough industry, it's a competitive industry. You need to do what you need to do to get that money. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. Ngicela sibashayele izandla. Okay, I'm going to pass the comments or the questions to the floor now. I think because of time, we're going to take 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll make it 7 because of time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Khona no 5 lapho, 6, 7. Got engikubonile 6 lapha no 7. Ngicela ningisize bandla with the mic so that we can quickly just answer the questions. Please, can you just stand up if the mic is in your hand? Introduce yourself.
Sanibona again, nguZamashange mina. Like I said before, Mini NPO, it's based in sports, arts and culture, not just the club on the side. Guys, thank you. You have done so well for yourselves.
Thank you.
And like she said, we should empower and encourage. You've already holding the baton, and for you, mina Mazulu, you are even willing to pass it on to the next generation, which is something very important. Youth. It's not a question, but it's a plea. Since we already in development, and I can say talent. Ngiyacela kubantu asebeqalile njengani. Niye, there is massive talent out there. And isiqalile already, you are heading towards a decade with the foundation yako and your academy. Kulula emntwaneni when they are groomed young. The only thing I can say, singayithathi sikude la usuthi after school and between varsity. What about child stars? Beyonce knew when she was 5 that she's gonna be a star, a singer. Michael Jackson knew that. And the last time we ever seen a child star, Dala, I think it's when we watched the movie Chili Bites. Ingane, we are so happy. And manje, using social media as a platform has its pros and cons. We are born ingane ziya trend ikhuluma zonke lezo zinto. It's not groomed ngendlela right. Another thing engizoyicela futhi for us as now ama NPOs as ngathi singakwazi ukuxhumana nani nenza ama boot camp, because abantu are still unaware of the massive opportunities and careers akhona ku-entertainment. There's radio and broadcasting, and kuyona acting, there is makeup, wardrobe, everything, script writing, filming, producing, camera and what. Ingane ngacabanga ukuthi I just want to be seen on TV and that's how I'm going to make my money. Zikhona ingane, ikhona information seninayo, siyacela ukuthi nifike, even if iseyikoleni niqale ema primary nenzeni. And manje education is more on technology. Kodwa talent ayisekho enganeni, ayisekho izinto ezikhuthaza ingane and help these kids stay away from drugs. So ngiyacela ukuthi kungabukwa sekukude kakhulu sebeqeda isikole sebenjani. Let's start now. You did Sarafina usamncane, but now it's only done meku June 16 kuphela. And into eziningi education ngendlela eseshintshe ngayo, amakhono ezandla namakhono ey'ngane akusenziwa manje, and they just squeeze a little kwi-life orientation, because ngiye ey'koleni ngiyazi, because I am a life skills coach for iy'ngane. Can you be accessible nabanye benu, nenza ama-boot camp, nenza ama-activations, nifundise iy'ngane, because information enje isey'nganeni zabelungu kuphela ezenje speech and drama. Thank you.
All right, can I
Siyabonga, sis.
please, ngiyanicela ngesihle. Please keep your question very short. We don't have much time left. I've got 6 other questions that I have to get through, and I've only got 9 minutes left. Can I please, ngiyanicela, I know you all want to use this opportunity to express your passion and how much you're into this whole vibe. But ngicela sicabangele abanye abantu as well. As you can see outside, there's a queue lining up for people who want to eat already. Nani kusafanele niphume niyobamba leya queue. So can we be just a little bit considerate? Ngiyacela, you can have a very relevant question, but still keep it short. All right? Ngicela, the other 6 people with your questions, please can you just stand up and be brief, please?
Sanibonani. Ulindo kuhle lo khulumayo kaDlamini. I-question yami ngicela uyibhase kusisithandele. Ukhulume ngeKabawo Academy, and mina ngiyi-artist, okay, underground artist. So ngi-interested kuyona ukuthi like ungena kanjani kuyona, since futhi wenza i-acting, imaphi ama-agents mhlawumbe engawangenele obona ukuthi right. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani, kusewutholakele Magubane ka Eshemlazi.
Mina ngizocela ukubuza kosisi bami ukuthi enene ku-safe kangakanani ukuthi ingane mayisuka la ziye eGoli, cause kunama-ad abaye bawaposte kwenye i-WhatsApp group yaseGoli engikuyona befuna ama-actors. So sesizamile ukuthi sibe nendawo ngale sinanokudla na yonke into siyabakhokhela futhi masibayisa le beya kuma audition. So ngizocela ukwazi ukuthi ku safe kangakanani because fanele ngiqiniseke abazali ukuthi if beya kulama audition ku safe kangakanani. Ikhona yini into eningangitshela yona ukuthi okay sisi fanele wenze nje kanje kuze kube safe for ingane. Ngiyabonga.
Okay, ngicela nje ukubamba lama questions awu 3 aseshiwo mase ke mhlambe I think kusela mangaki about 4. Okay, sisi ngicela ukubonga sisi yes ngiyabonga kakhulu for leyo compliment, but also ngingasho ukuthi siyayihambela ikole, we do have ama programs eswenzayo ukuthi mhlambe ulwazi alifiki lufinyelele yonke indawo yabo. Kune program esibiza ngokuthi libunjwa luseva, okusho ukuthi umuthi ugotsha usemanzi, esijwayele ukuyenza ngo-August for young girls abase primary nabase high school. But also enye into with the academy asikwazi manje ukwenza ama classes ama weekends because we are artists ourselves. Asikakabi na funding ukuthi siqasha abanye othisha abazofundisa abantwana abancane laba abafundayo, hence sithatha laba asebeqedile umatric, but as sikhula sizokwazi ukuthi siba accommodate nalabo abanye abantwana abancane. And also njengoba uLanolo akuxoxeshilo menis invite isikhathi sikhona siyahambela indawo zasemalokishini zasemakhaya sihambisa uqhazo. Maningi ama CSI programs umuntu awenzayo alekelela ngawo emphakathini ukuthi mhlawumbe amanye aninalo ulwazi ngawo. Ngizoyishiya information about the school, inamba, Instagram and Facebook page, nikwazi ukuthi ningifonele, nikwazi ukuthi nibuze imibuzo manidinga usizo sibone ukuthi singalekelana kanjani. Siswami lo kade buza umbuzo manje kokugcina kunendaba yokuntshontsha kweingane, human trafficking. Awukwazi ukusenda ingane kumuntu ongamazi ongazi ummithe nakanye. Awukaze ummithe, you must make sure ukuthi you do a research about leyo nto lesendiwe. Iya exist yini kwasayona leyo casting agency eshiwoyo. Ungene kwi-internet mawukuthi mhlawumbe una access ucele abakwazi ukuchofa ni check ukuthi khona yini kwa website, ukhona yini umuntu enimaziyo owake wasebenza naleyo casting agency before uthumele izingane ngoba akusaphephile manje. Kambe omunye umbuzo ube uthini sisi? Yes, ngizoyishiya inamba for ikabawo ukwazi ukuthi sithatha abantu, you do auditions and then masibona ukuthi talent elikhona khona singakwazi ukupholisha from lokho nako, then we take it from there. Ngiyabonga.
All right, Penny, do you want to answer about ukuhambela ingane nezikole and so forth?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. In terms of ukuhambela, I think a lot of artists is not ukuthi awafuna ukuhamba or awafuna ukufika, are busy, sonke siyazama. So especially njengama weekends, njengoba kuyi weekend la, mesuka la ngiyacabanga ukuthi i-artist ne-artist khona la libheke khona. Hence sesinokusheshisa izinto. But merely available, I'm pretty sure ukuthi bayathanda ukuthi bathi come through. Nakhona ama-artists enibwenikhumbula ukuthi they're also trying to make a living. So mewukuthi kukhona onakho ephaketheni, even if imali drink ukuthi afike mubone ngemali drink uzofika because nawe njengoba uzama naye uyazama. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Mazulu, are you going to leave the number now?
Yeah, mhlawumbe mawukuthi nali pen nephepha.
Okay, while esakhipha inamba nisakhipha amapeni ngicela i-microphone ibe ihamba kulabanye abantu abasela abawu4. Ngiyazi ukuthi khona abawu2 bese kuba khona abanye laphayana. So inamba please, I'm sure amapeni seniwakhiphile manje.
Okay, ngizocala nga social media. On Instagram it's ikabawo_@_academy. Ku Facebook Ikabao Performing Arts Academy. Then inamba ngifisa nje ukunikeza le eyomsebenzi. All right, Nancy. It's 079 408 6895. If we again le ungasebenzisa 082 79 11050. 082 79 11050. Ngiyabonga.
All right, sabonga kakhulu. Cela imibuzo leyo 4 esele please.
But
Cela
yes.
usukume nje introduce. Thank you.
Okay, uxolani wakambamba lo ukhulumayo. Yebo, sicela ukubonga isibindi enisipha abafowethu nodadewethu bosisi bami nibancane nokuthi nisinikeze ithemba ukuthi izinto ziyenzeka. Iloko nje bengithanda ukusho. Siyabonga kakhulu. Siyacela umuntu
Thank you.
aphume esomunye umuntu angaphume lento ade eyiyona. Ngiyabonga.
Ngibonge.
Thank you.
Ngibonge ithuba engipha lona. Igama lami iphiwa inkosi insizwe siphelele ngobese.
Kungebe Donda delwa kubusa Gamdane wena wakhisha ngenona emgodini.
Ngiyabonga. Mina ngoba ngilana ngifunda la eMangosuthu. I happen to be in SRC khona. I-challenge esinayo la eMangosuthu, we have more than 15,000 students aba registered. Then eMangosuthu ayikho platform whereby umuntu even a cause often ukuyenza for pertaining performing arts or stage playing yabo. So now abantu experience am ngise office, most of students afika lapana afike hamba nabazali, umzali yamforce uthamba ufunda lapana. Masifika ngaphakathi abanye they are not doing well academically ne. So bane talent asina the platform search that initiative ukuthi let's launch a structure esibiza performing arts ne within the institution. So nami ngafisa ngelinye ilanga yabo even though ukuthi nifike khona because most of abantu abalaphana abanye iminingi labo balaphana nje abathanda ukubalaphana balaphana because of abazali abanye bane talent abafisa ukushowcase, but now i-platform even asesikoleni awukwazi ngaphathi umzali sekuphushile wangena lana ufuna ngeke uzama ukushintsha ukuthi ke ngena kule stream ofuna ukungena sona. So yilokho bengifisa mina ukubeka etafuleni. Ngiyabonga.
Okay, futhi siyabonga sizothatha nje imininingwane ebese siyahlela isikhathi masivele bhuti wami. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
All right. Khona imibuzo uthula, khona wodwa la khona lapha emuva.
Sanibonani.
Yebo.
Bigama lami nguNkululeko ngwakamfela. Okokuqala nje engifisa ukukubuza ukuthi Phenentuli, will you marry me? Ngiyadlala. No. Into engifuna ukuyibonga. Guys, thank you so much for availing yourselves. Nisinikeza lolu lwazi enisinikeza lona. Okokuqala, I just want to know from Umazulu ukuthi what are the accreditations that are needed to open an academy, because we have a problem la elokishini. Sigcina sesilibele siposta ngendlela esine energy ngayo yokuaphila o 350 nemicikilisho yakhona, rather than actually dealing and investing your energy ekutheni ubheke ukuthi iliphi ibhizinisi engalivula. Sinomunye umdlandla and I'm there with social media. We've been participating and okunye sanikhulekela bafethu the toxicity ekhona kwi-industry is very high. Nhlezi ngibona the pressure that you guys are going through none. And ngiyafisa ukuthi nibe safe because ngiyeza ukuthi nithi niya-adapta. But conveying the message, i-message and adapta kuyona, neni convey kunina, please, I want you guys to be very safe. It is of business interest and the ideas that are being sold to the public ukuthi kwenzakalani. And okunye bengicela ukukubuza kusisulo kunjani uMphemba. I'm interested in industry opera. Actor opera, you sing, and when I'm also an opera singer. So ngiyafisa ukuthi nina and broadcast ayo lapho go Gagas, go Vibe FM and everything. Take that music into consideration. It sends a message. We've got beautiful stories right there Princess Magogo, Shaka Zulu, a lot of things. Umuntu mawukhuluma nge-opera uvela kutshena ukuthi hayi uzocula uPavarotti noma uyamhaza uPavarotti, but there is a lot in the opera industry that needs ukuthi to be sold to people and have exposure kubantu, because we end up not being funded necessarily because kuhlezi kuthiwa this is not relevant okwamanje. You deal with the relevance uzozugcina udayisa izitori ezirong emphakathini and corrupting the youth that we are trying to save. So please guys, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Ngicela ukusheshe ngikuphendule. I think I've been doing radio for five years, but angazi noma ngizokuphendula kahle noma mhlawumbe kuzohlala kahle nikuwena, but when you speak about opera and Gaga CFM, I feel like every radio station has its target market, and Gaga silkhuluma ne-youth and siyagroove, yabo. So at the groove or ne-opera, I hope you get what I'm trying to say. There is a certain radio station that can accommodate that type of music. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, but uyakhuluma bhuti? Okay, sorry, ngicela nje ukuthatha owabhuti. Bhuti, umbuzo wakho bewukuthi yini oyidinga ukuze ukwazi ukuthi ube nesikole? Usho kanjalo bhuti wami? Obviously you need accreditation, but ungakwazi ukuqala even accreditation ingakabi khona, as long as unayo